All right, hello YouTube. Welcome. Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties. It seems some of our buttons are not working as they should. So
Skynet doesn't want us to record.
what the fuck? Hold on a second. Sorry. The next slide up. My camera wasn't showing.
That's fine.
Okay, all kinds of weird tech issues.
Yeah.
See, it's because I badmouthed Google on the last podcast.
It's what I said.
But yeah, we're here for episode number 40. Nice round number here. Our 40th birthday is next year. Oh yeah, so let's.
Why are you the way that you are?
Hey, don't loop me into Toby in any way. Let's go ahead and hit the intro and get started real quick. Maybe. Dude, again, it's the...
Is that one not working?
Yeah, worked for the last show. I don't know what's going on here. Try this.
Sorry about this, folks.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm going to figure it out here in a second.
My problem is I don't know if I still have the intro button on my board because it's on the pedal.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. Now let me go like this, and then...
He who is ashamed of his geekery has forgotten the face of Stan Lee.
This is the podcast, Geekery Abides.
All right. Hello and welcome to Geekery Abides. Had a little technical issues, both right before the going live as well as on the podcast side, right? When we were trying to...
Hey, it's working.
Yeah, I think I had one of my... So the buttons are set, because I've got multiple. I think I've got 4 different audio options in this behemoth of a computer. And I think I forgot to change my default computer from my TV to the computer. And the buttons that weren't working were not set right. They were set to the wrong thing. If my computer's set, they'll all work. But
when you're set to your TV.
Yeah, then a couple buttons that may not be set right wouldn't. All right, whatever. Either way. Yeah, okay.
Shame.
I'm just testing to see if it works. No pun intended towards you or anything, Tad, you know. I'm just
Hello there.
just
That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Every time I get that clip now, I send it to you.
every single time. It's required.
I hope you don't, object.
No, it's required by law. That's like best friend code right there.
So yeah, we are here for episode number 40 of Geekery Abides, and I took the liberty of renaming the way we are titling this.
Okay.
I put it as top 10 post-Endgame moments.
Oh, I like it.
Because Endgame is 19, so that pretty
It's
much is
still the same thing.
Yeah. Let's. My name is Tad, and with me, as always, is Peter.
Oh yeah, we haven't even
And
done that yet.
yeah, it's all kinds of shenanigans is afoot. So let's go ahead and dive on into the emails. If you want to email the show, you can do that at peter@geekeryabides.com or tad@geekeryabides.com.
I have to tell you what happened with that.
Go on.
So my wife emailed
Let
you.
me go find my shame button real quick.
Yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
My wife emailed you, right?
Yeah.
Her list.
And I checked it, of course. 'Cause
Yeah, I know. And she earlier this week she was like, "Oh, I got to get on my Marvel list. I want to send in my top 10 moments." I'm like, "Oh yeah? You're going to send it to me?" And she goes, "No, I want it to be read, so I'm going to send it to Tad." I felt like
A stab.
Like, such a piece of shit. And when she said that, I'm like, oh. I expect that from Dad, but from my wife? Oh,
I love it.
How can this be for the greater good? Shut it!
Oh, it is for the greater good.
my pain is for the greater good.
I did see a shirt, and it was Hot Fuzz, and it had the 2 characters and a bunch of lines.
Oh.
And I want to get it, especially because it has the greater good, but no response.
Just the
one line there. Had any chance catching those swans yet? Just the one swan, actually. Oh,
we love Hot Fuzz.
It's such a good one. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive on into the watching, reading, playing. I guess it's your episode.
So you're going to go first because I got a little bit of a surprise for you, Ted, that I've been keeping from you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So I will start at the bottom, playing the show still, just MLB The Show.
Oh, you started a new season?
Yeah. And
you fixed the setting?
no, it wouldn't let me.
Oh.
So, but I'm like, am I really going to spend $60 on the next version of the game? Because that's probably what I would do, right? My options are to completely wipe out the franchise and start over, or just buy the new game, which is starting over as well. But I'm like, am I really going to spend $60 because I don't want pitchers to bat? So, no, I just started the next season. But I will say, I may have acquired me a pitcher that can hit very well.
Hey!
Because it was last season. And there's one Shohei Ohtani that
oh, no, you didn't.
was a free agent. And because when the game was released, he didn't get the Tommy John surgery, so he could still pitch, which would be this season, which is my next season, which is this season.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got, Shohei Ohtani on the Diamondbacks. I maxed out the contract, and I don't have any owners I have to answer to. I'll spend whatever the fuck I want.
Exactly.
Besides, I was questioning, I know we're not a sports podcast, but here's the thing. Small market team paid for Ohtani. With the kind of coverage he got, you're not telling me over the next decade they would recoup the cost? Like,
it's possible.
International coverage that they're getting from Japan, all that. I mean, ESPN can't go 10 minutes without talking about it. Like, I just feel like it doesn't have to be like a micro, tiny place, but it's like a place like Arizona or Kansas City. Like, you telling me that they wouldn't recoup their costs for a Shohei Ohtani? It's just
they could.
Weird discussion, I know, but yeah. So I'm playing that. Got into my next
Tad
season.
has gotten very into baseball over the last couple of years, in case you couldn't tell.
I mean, I've always loved baseball, but
you really got into it.
The modern because now they have the streaming stuff where you can actually watch the fucking games.
What?
Yeah, it's novel how access to things makes people bigger fans. And then I'm reading The Stand. And then watching finished House of the Dragon. It was actually funny last night as I was doing some prep for this. I realized that the House of the Dragon finale was last week, and somehow in the midst of binging another show, I completely spaced that Mayor of Kingstown's finale was last week. So last night I was like, I haven't watched the finale. So I stopped everything I was doing and watched the finale. So I did watch the Mayor of Kingstown finale. And then the reason I was sidetracked, I've been binging the fuck out of Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
So the one story I wanted to tell, too, I just finished up the 3rd season, and the 3rd season finale was a big one, titled Lantern. It reminded me when that aired live, so I used to buy the season passes. Aired Sunday, it would be there around 3 in the morning, something like that, and you could watch it the next day. So Monday was my Better Call Saul day. Monday after Lantern, the finale of the 3rd season, so you always know big shit's going down.
Yep.
That morning, I was flying to Mexico for my cousin's wedding. First time going to Mexico.
Yeah.
And not that I knew that Better Call Saul's finale would have been the night before, we scheduled the very first flight. So had to be at the airport at like 5 a.m. or maybe even earlier. I don't remember. It was early as fuck. I never listened to them.
This was also years ago. So security is just as tight as maybe even a little bit tighter than now.
Yeah.
So they always tell you to show up like 2.5 hours.
They always say 2 hours, but I never listen to them if I got like a 6 a.m. flight, I'm gonna show up at 5. Like I've never seen enough because I usually do those early flights. It's easier usually. And dude, there's times I walk straight to TSA and get
straight through.
There's almost no lines because it's just what sane person is flying at 6 a.m. But that day, I made a choice. I set my alarm for 1 hour earlier. I think I woke up at 3 or something in the morning, so I had time to watch said episode and then finish my packing and then go to the airport and fly to Mexico because I knew it was on Amazon, my season pass, and I was like, is me moving into Mexico going to make it to where I won't be able to access my season pass because I'm now in another country?
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I don't want to watch it on the plane on a fucking phone. So it's like, who needs sleep? So Better Call Saul.
You can sleep in Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a story I wanted to share, but I've been binging through it. Yeah, I'm a few episodes into season 4 now, so loving it. My plan is to go Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, and then El Camino. I'm just going to watch it all because I've never done it chronologically, so it'll be interesting to do it all chronologically.
Yeah.
But what about you?
So I'm going to start at the bottom, too. I've just been playing 7 Days to Die. I haven't played literally anything else for a month now, so yeah. Reading, I read the book Thinner by Stephen King. Never read that one before, so that was fun. Joe Mantegna.
Yeah. Fat Tony
from The Simpsons. And then when I finished Thinner, I was like, gosh, I don't know what I'm going to read. Do I want to do another book? Do I want to do something else? And so I don't know why, but it called to me, so I'm re-listening to Harry Potter again. I love that series. I'm already in the 4th book, so Thinner and 3.5 Harry Potters.
Yeah.
The first 3 are pretty short, though, so, you know. And then watching, this is where my surprise comes in for you. Watching a bunch of Olympics, watching Criminal Minds with my wife, which she puts out. Hers is she's watching Criminal Minds, Schitt's Creek, Good Place, reading. She finished The Girl Who Loves Tom Gordon, and she started Later. And then she's been playing Power Simulator a little to the left.
I love Later so much.
And my wife does remind us that we do need to set up a Dead by Daylight session.
With Hayden?
With Hayden
yes,
and
indeed.
Caden. Yep, absolutely. But my surprise for you is I watched season 1 of House of the Dragon. I finished the season finale this morning.
What are you thinking?
So
I think I warned you ages ago that this first season's very different because you get a time jump and stuff. So what do you?
You get more than one time jump, sir. You get like 8.
Well, I mean, they changed the cast with one big time jump.
But
so.
there's people who change in between each episode, it seems like. So
yeah.
It kind of threw me off a little bit, I'm not going to lie. Like the first episode, between the first and second episode, there's 2 years that go by. Between the second and third, there's another 2 years. Between the third and the fourth, there's 6 years.
Yeah.
And everything like that. So I'm fucking addicted. I will probably be watching most of season 2 tomorrow during the day while my wife's working. So
excellent.
I will be caught up. So I don't know if that changes your plans for next episode, or if we want to hold off and maybe have a House of the Dragon conversation down the road. But I just wanted to put that out there that it is a surprise for you. It was very hard yesterday going to lunch and doing our hangout for our other show on Patreon. Not to tell you because I want to talk about it, but I also want to do it at the right time. So I don't know if we want to save that and do maybe not next episode, maybe in a couple episodes, because I know this one's mine, so you got choice of next episode. But
yeah,
I will say, by next episode, I will have season 2 watched. That is a promise, Tad.
What are you thinking?
I like it. Yeah. I like it a lot.
Characters?
Just one thing. 2 things. I'm going to tell you 2 things, and then we're going to move on because we have a lot to cover in this episode.
Yeah.
Because I know we have a lot of Comic-Con news to cover, and then also we have our top 10 list of post-Endgame moments. 2 things. The first 3 episodes, I didn't know who the fuck to root for. Everyone was a piece of shit. Oh, my God. Everyone sucked.
Well, such as is in that universe in general. Right?
I mean, well, Game of Thrones pretty much gave you, like, right off the bat who the bad guy was. He kind of threw a kid out of a fucking window.
Oh, the things we do for love.
Exactly. So kind of gave you a hint right off the bat who to root for.
Yeah.
You know, and everything. Second thing. I like this so much because it's what made Game of Thrones so intriguing those first few seasons.
Yeah.
It is the Game of Thrones. It is the game of who's going to sit on the throne. It is the politics and the backstabbing and the lying and the sleeping around and all of that. It is what made the early seasons of Game of Thrones so fucking good.
Indeed.
And that's where I'll stop because I know we're going to talk about this more.
Indeed. All right. So yeah, that is it for watching, reading, playing. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the news. First off, our good old friend Oswald has been announced to be released on my birthday.
Yep, Cobblepot.
Good old penguin.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. There's also something, I don't remember what it was. Maybe we cover it in this episode later. There's something that's releasing the day before my birthday. Oh, it's Agatha.
Yeah.
Agatha's the day before my birthday, so Agatha, then Penguin. It's going to be a good time. We'll see if he bites someone's nose off. That's my hope. So, so Penguin, September 19th, if you're not in the knowledge of my birthday, is the release date for the Penguin on HBO. So, looking forward to that.
So, Agatha comes out on the 18th.
Yes.
2
Indeed.
episodes to start.
2 episodes, yep.
Yeah.
That's what it was, yeah, because I watched that new trailer dropped.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Good. Some interesting things coming out of D23. Not as much as Comic-Con, but it's all the stuff that didn't get covered in Comic-Con are getting covered now, which is it's fitting.
It was right. It was exactly what you said yesterday when we were hanging out. I'm like, do we got a lot of stuff to cover for D23 tomorrow? And you're like, not really.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about it, and you're like, it's probably going to be a lot of Disney and Pixar stuff, and
that's what it's largely been.
There has been a ton of Disney and Pixar stuff.
I don't have a slide for this. I just saw it this morning. They did just announce, I don't know if it was at D23, Danny DeVito, speaking of Penguin, is returning to The Simpsons as Uncle Herb.
Nice.
It's been 30 years almost probably since his last episode, so that's huge. That's awesome. That's huge. Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Longest gap in between character coming back?
I mean, it has to be, I think.
Yeah,
I think that's like that's early enough that I bet you it's probably because they did 2 episodes with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would venture it's close to 30 years since the last time he was on the show. So, which is healthily inside the run of the show, which is crazy. Next up, into the horror realm, Nev Campbell says that Scream 7 is Sydney focused.
Good.
I don't think she said this, but a lot of what people are saying online is it sounds like it's going to be a lot like what Laurie was with Halloween 2018.
Ooh.
Very Laurie centric.
Yes.
That sounds like what Sydney is going to be for Scream 7. She says, "quote We're going to follow Sydney. They did pitch the concept to me, and it's the reason I jumped on board." She said, quote, I love these movies. They're so much fun to be a part of, and I'm so grateful for them. I never could have imagined being part of a movie that would have lasted this many decades. So yeah, sounds like a very all right. Very Sydney. I mean, sign me up, man. Sydney. Yeah. Love it. So, of course, there's been all the talk that Courtney Cox is back as Gale. Of course, that's what she's most known for is Gale. And there's the talk that there's
what are you talking about? She was in Ace Ventura.
A cult of Ghostface is a phrase that's been out there, so I'm really hoping that's true because that sounds
would be
amazing. And it sounds like her kids are going to be a big part of it, which again, like Laurie from Halloween.
Watch
18.
a cult kidnap the kids.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. I love it, man. Can't wait to see her back.
Yeah. I love Nev Campbell.
Indeed. Next up, In a Violent Nature is getting a sequel.
All right. I just still need to watch that.
It's so good, man.
Where is it again? Is it on Shudder
I think it's
already?
on Shudder.
Is it out? It's on Shudder?
It is. Like when we hung out with Hayden, I think it released on Shudder the next week because I remember telling Hayden like how pissed I was because I'm like, if it was out a week earlier, I would have said after our barbecue and hanging out and shit, we should have just gone downstairs and watched Shudder or watched
Shudder free trial. Do we have a ad-free series for 7 days? Ooh.
Report back to me on that because there is, like I said, there's probably a top 5 or 10 kill of all time for me in that movie.
Ooh.
So I want you to report back what you find when watching that.
Yes, sir.
So AMC had said In a Violent Nature demonstrated there continues to be a yearning for new perspectives in horror landscape. We knew immediately that this is a distinctive take on a slasher that would enthrall fans, and we're glad to see the community embracing a new slasher icon in Johnny. With the sequel, we aim to prove Johnny can be bigger, meaner, and his kills can get even more impressive, which that is a bold statement, motherfucker.
I mean, I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
No, I know, but I will tell you from my perspective, to say that you can top what you did the last time.
All right.
That's
my wife says I can't watch it without her, though, so that restricts me a little bit.
Yeah. In fact, text me when you're watching it because you'll know. It's like Bone Tomahawk. You'll know when the moment happens. So when the moment happens, you need to just text me.
I will.
Like that. That's because it's great.
Hey, Mike, welcome.
Hello, Mike. So yeah, if you guys both watch it, I'll be interested to hear what you think. All right, next up, this one goes back to the beginning of our friendship.
Halo?
Even earlier than that.
Star Wars?
Batboy.
What?
Is getting a series for Netflix.
Wait, hold up. You mean the tabloid Batboy?
Yes.
What the hell?
Like I said, earliest days of our friendship, man.
We used to work at a grocery store, and I'm talking like 8 aisles grocery store here in Utah. Like,
Like a mom and pop.
My mom and pop store
Yeah.
had its own butcher, had a bakery, had a pharmacy, had a smoke shop because there's so many cigarettes to choose from and everything.
Which was probably news to you when you...
This is where I met Tad. Is I 15 years old, I got a job as a bag boy, bagging up groceries and getting the carts out of the parking lot and stocking the milk and everything. And one of the things that we would do when we would go on break is we'd grab one of the tabloids and read this shit and just laugh at it.
And I loved Bat Boy. Man.
Bat Boy!
So...
Bat Boy!
Here's the quote. In this coming-of-age series adaptation, the titular character is a teen named Bobby Bates. With the help of fellow teens Charisma and her weird sister Olive, Bobby re-enters mainstream society after living in seclusion on the outskirts of remnants of a long-dissipated carnival. Sounds fun.
What the hell? So carnies.
When Bobby enrolls at Cypressville High, he embarks on a journey of self-discovery while attempting to find his place among the new peers and society, trying to solve a mystery bubbling up from the Florida swamps.
Oh, good Lord.
All that while rocking his half-bat like features like sharp teeth and pointy ears. Oh, and there's also a small matter of the fact that he needs human blood.
Oh, good God.
I am fucking there, dude.
You're gonna watch this?
Oh my God! In an instant.
Oh,
this sounds amazing.
Take a vacation, watch it when it comes out.
I mean, if it's Netflix and they drop it all at once, it'll be easy. I could just do like I did with Cobra Kai and just
wait until Friday and watch it.
Just turn it on. And Cobra Kai usually just to show that I do have self-control. I usually watched it in 2 chunks. I'd watch until late night, and I'm like, okay. Save the next 2 episodes for tomorrow. Now I haven't watched it all in one sitting.
Then I'm not a complete and utter piece of shit.
Yeah. I figured you'd appreciate that.
Bat Boy. Oh my God.
I love it.
Good Lord.
Next up, the new Yellowstone series, originally called Yellowstone 2024, has got a new title, as well as it has nabbed Kurt Russell and Michelle Pfeiffer as the lead roles. So that's not a bad couple there.
No.
It's been retitled The Madison. The Madison is said to, quote, follow wealthy matriarch Stacy Clyburn from her family as they leave New York City and head to Montana in the wake of her husband and brother-in-law's tragic deaths in a plane crash. So, yeah, sounds interesting. I do think.
Is it modern? Is that what you're saying?
This takes place after Yellowstone.
After
this is actually the one allegedly that they were developing that would have been Matthew McConaughey. Remember, there's all the talk that they were just gonna kill Yellowstone when what's his name was being a prick about holding out on shit.
Kevin Costner,
and they basically just said, "Fine, we'll just kill it. We have another show we'll do right after." And Matthew McConaughey's who we're eyeballing. It sounds like this might be that. So Wyatt Russell's his son, but I call him Wyatt because Wyatt Earp, which is how
Tombstone,
is how he named his son, by the way. So I love that. Kurt Russell and Michelle Pfeiffer. That's not a bad pairing. So
they played together before. They played together in Overboard. Is that
know.
That's Goldie Hawn. Never mind.
Yeah, as I say, I don't know who what Overboard is. Next up, Ben Affleck, out of nowhere that you would have suspected, is set to play Hulk Hogan in a Gawker movie.
What?
He and Matt Damon teaming up once again. The project is titled Killing Gawker, and it has Good Will Hunting's director Gus Van Sant to direct it. Matt Damon will be playing Peter Thiel, and Ben Affleck will be playing Hulk Hogan. I don't know if you know the story of the Gawker stuff, but basically Gawker found out that Peter Thiel was gay and outed him, and he was a billionaire. So when they then published Hulk Hogan's sex tape, he basically bankrolled Hogan to sue them to put them out of business. And so this is a movie based on the court proceedings. And yes, Ben Affleck will be playing Hulk Hogan, Matt Damon playing Peter Thiel.
Retired Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, older.
2009. It was after high school for us, wasn't it? Which we graduated in 04.
Yeah, it was probably 9, 10, somewhere in
2009, 2010.
Yeah, so Mike says Ben Affleck, CGI, or a lot of makeup. And I would guess
Ben Affleck is buff as fuck.
Well, no, I think I don't think he necessarily looks like Hogan. So
I don't know, he's got kind of that square jaw like Hogan.
Yeah, if you just get the mustache, he's going to be wearing a bandana because that was a whole thing in the trial.
And he always wears sunglasses, right?
No, they won't let him wear that. But there was a whole thing. There was a whole fucking day or two in court where they were debating on whether he should be allowed to wear a bandana.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It was a whole thing. So, very interesting. I will also point out Gus Van Sant being credited with Good Will Hunting. That's fine. But I will always remember Gus Van Sant as the moron that remade Psycho as a shot-for-shot remake. Do you ever watch that?
No.
With fucking Vince Vaughn playing Norman Bates. Literally, it is just modern. In 1998 is when it was made, so not modern, but
Jesus Christ.
It was Psycho, and it's the same movie. It's just it's just reshot in color with different actors.
I never knew that.
Anne Hesh plays the lead actress that dies. It's not good.
The lawsuit was filed in 2013, and the verdict was given in 2016. That is a lot fucking later than I realized.
Yeah, I knew it was. Yeah,
I thought it was like 2008, 2009, like Dark Knight Return, like Dark Knight era.
No. So that's pretty interesting. Also, I do know that there was one point that Netflix was developing a Hulk Hogan biopic with Chris Hemsworth. Apparently, that is not active anymore with Netflix. Who knows if that'll ever happen? But Hemsworth, what about that for Hulk Hogan? That one
fits a little bit better.
Yeah, and that one would have been.
He's at least blonde.
That would have been at least a biopic too. This one again, it's just on the Gawker trial, so it's probably gonna be more of like a legal drama-ish type thing. So, next up, Ted Lasso season 4 is up to Jason Sudeikis. So series co-creator Bill Lawrence said, "quote Whatever Jason feels like doing and whatever his decision is, we're all down for it. Not only is he the star, but he's the head writer, and he's also the dude whose life just has to be completely overhauled and moved to a foreign country with his young children. It's a big deal. So as a fan, if someone's like, oh, it's going to happen again, I'll go nuts. As a partner, I'm down for whatever he wants to do." So it sounds like the pieces are in place to where if Jason Sudeikis wants to move back to England, we might get a season 4 of Ted Lasso, which, please, just
hook it to my vein!
There it is.
Or give me a spinoff. We don't even need Jason Sudeikis. Just give me
Roy.
Give me Roy doing the coaching the team, man. Because Roy is awesome.
He is. My wife says in the chat, "Oh, please, I like how Ted Lasso ended, but I would not mind more."
Yeah, and that's like the whole show business thing, though, where it's like, leave them wanting more. And that's the thing, is they left us wanting more. And it's like, so is that just the perfect spot to end it as much as we want more? I don't care. Give me more. Just,
I'm for it. The nice thing about this one is that I'm for it either way.
Yeah. I don't know. I would love more. Even if it was a spinoff, give me Roy and
see, that's where
the reporter. I really like the reporter.
That's fine. That's what you do. Is you do Roy Kent instead of Ted Lasso.
Yeah, and Vanessa.
Yeah,
she's a goddess, of course.
Although we do have a new owner of the club, so we get a chance for a new character there. No Rebecca. So
yeah. This one, another throwback to our earlier days. Game Informer is shutting down after 33
about
years. We've both, over the years, have had Game Informer subscriptions.
I had a subscription to Game Informer,
because GameStop used to sell them.
You would get the subscription to GameStop, and Game Informer was like a bonus for it. So then you got a discount on like used games and controllers and shit like that.
Yeah, I think EGM was my favorite, Electronic Gaming Monthly. I think that's one's since shut down too. So,
jeez.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I don't know, not necessarily the best time to be a magazine publisher. Yeah. So, not a surprise, but still interesting. Speaking of dead,
actually, what we should say. Oh wait, we got one more dead.
No, not dead, but
it
sounds like the Lando series is dead. It is no longer
Good night, sweet prince.
For the Game Informer and for the Lando series.
And for the Lando series. Yeah. Sounds like it was pretty well into development, but it was nixed. My guess is this is another Iger casualty with Iger's edict of
more
parsing things down and more movies, less TV shows. I assume that a Lando series probably was killed in that whole thing. So the rest of the way here we got is Marvel related.
Oh boy.
So let's
oh boy.
First up, Daphne Keane could not stop laughing at Gambit.
Yep.
While filming
I saw
Deadpool.
This reel. This came across my Instagram.
So she said, quote, I had to tell him that on my shots he could not say his lines. I kept breaking character because Daphne Keane is X-23, by the way, because I had to look it up. I didn't know when I was reading the article. I'm like, I mean, Gambit, I'm thinking of the scene. I'm like, I guess I know almost everybody else, so it's probably got to be her, but I had to look it up to confirm. She says, because I'd be doing my brooding Wolverine vibe. I was like, yeah, let's fucking go. And then he'd be like, I was laying my nut in my buttery. And then she goes, no, shut up. I need to do my job over. You're making it so hard. But he's so good. Even the formation when he's like, I'm about to make a name for myself. I was like, no. Again, I'm calm and collected, and this guy is just yapping in my ear. He's also right in front of me, and it's a full frontal shot, so you could probably see me somewhere dying in the background.
I need to see it again.
I know.
I got to see it again so I can watch for it.
Gonna be watched, which makes me happy because, like, he was pretty fucking ridiculous.
Yep.
Like, so it makes me happy
I want this to be gentle, but who was your dialect coach? The Minions?
we're losing critical
exposition time.
Yeah. Great stuff. Yeah. And then just a little bit of vindication for myself. Turns out Deadpool and Wolverine originally had a Robert Downey Jr. post-credit scene.
Did it really?
Well, not filmed, but that was their original idea. Originally, the film had Deadpool messing with Cable's time, because this is also kind of how the movie was changed. It was originally had him messing with Cable's time machine, getting arrested by the TVA, and then while in their prison, he overhears their plans to recruit anchor beings from across the multiverse to create an army to help fight Kangs. And it includes Logan, which he escapes and tries to get ahead of them to recruit said Logan for his own world rather than to help the TVA. So sounds like that's kind of what the movie was. And it sounds like, I'm guessing they did a lot of rewriting for the Kang element to
the Kang fallout.
Cut all that out. So then the Johnny Storm talking shit was actually the end of the film. And the post-credit scene would have seen Deadpool back at the Avengers campus, but finally meeting Tony Stark, who promptly turned him down for the Avengers. That was the idea. So that it just, there's something about it that was just like, it feels to me like that even if they would have done something irreverent where he was just in the back, or like you see him walk behind Deadpool or something, like, and then like dodge him, like see that it's him and like scurry away quick, something. He
opens the door to Happy's office and is like, and Happy just shakes his head and he closes it again.
So that's pretty cool. And then Sean Levy talks about the one joke they had to change, but I will warn you, he doesn't tell what the joke is.
Of course.
He says, the general rule is never to punch down and only to take the piss out of people who can take it. Certainly when it was about Hugh in a meta way, Hugh was always the first to laugh uproariously. There was one line that the entire movie where we were asked to change. We have made a pact, Ryan and I, to go to our graves with that line, but I will say that it was replaced with an equally dirty line of dialogue about Pinocchio shoving his face up Deadpool's ass and starting to lie like crazy. I was like, Ryan, that's your replacement line in response to "Can we clean this up?" That's Ryan Reynolds for you, audacious to the very edge.
Yep.
So they were asked to clean up a joke.
Yep.
And instead went with a...
Saw this one on a reel too as well.
Much more vulgar.
Yep, and he would not say the line, the original one either.
Yeah. So. Sounds like we'll never know.
Well, unless Ryan leaks it in a few years, like he did with the test footage.
With it saying never punching down, it makes me wonder if it was probably just a joke that's better not said. Because punching down is like, don't make fun of people that are like hard off, right?
Yeah.
Like don't make fun of like poor people or kids
or
with cancer,
disabled people.
Yeah, like you don't like that's just a general rule in comedy. Don't punch down. Like that's never going to be funny unless you're trying to cater to really terrible people.
Yeah.
Next up, Tim Blake says that Marvel is keeping cinema alive. Tim Blake, of course, is mastermind in Thunderbolts, and we saw him in the Incredible Hulk back in the day.
Yep.
He says, quote, these scores of movies with characters moving in and out of one another, storylines coming together, going back apart, fighting against one another in a single universe. It's never happened before in movies. He says, when people attack these movies as, well, it's not real cinema or it's a death of cinema, I actually think it's keeping cinema alive, and I really mean that. So good on him for saying that, because I've been saying that for ages.
You have.
Comic books have been keeping Hollywood alive through COVID and through a lot of other shit.
Yeah.
So pretty cool to see one of the actors saying it. And he's a legit actor too, right? Like he's like I don't think he went to Juilliard, but he's like a classically trained actor.
Yep.
It always shocked me the first time I heard him speaking, because like I saw him as Delmar O'Donnell in O Brother Where Art Thou.
Yep.
So I always just kind of pictured him as that character. The first time I saw him speak, and he was like talking about being this like classically trained Shakespearean actor.
Wait, what?
And stuff. It's just like, whoa, what the fuck? The only one that shocked me more is the son from Devil's Rejects. Have you ever looked that guy up? Like the really dirty, like he's got like the silver hair, just really dirty, nappy, redneck looking guy. Because there's like Captain Spaulding, the girl, and then the dude. There's the three of them. The dude, like I looked him up once on IMDb, and like his picture, I was like, that's the wrong guy. That's not him.
Yeah.
Because he's just a well put together,
kind of like Colin Farrell and the Penguin. Like we know that's not Colin Farrell. You guys can stop lying to us.
Exactly. He's just stealing the paychecks. He got someone to play the role, and he's just paying him off or something. Next,
stunt double.
Yes, indeed. Next up, Agatha all along is like the Goonies, apparently.
Yeah.
So, Joe
looks like it.
Joe Jock. He's this is a quote from him. He's an actor in the series. He says Jacques Schaefer sent Kevin Feige a picture of the Witches Roads set and replied, "Oh my God, we're making the Goonies." And that's why I've been saying that we're here. We're making this adventure series. And then about his character named Teen, apparently is Joe's character's name, which we see him in the new trailer. He says, quote, he's a familiar. He's like an assistant to the Coven. Teen is a big fan of witchcraft and witches, so for him to be taken under Agatha Harkness's wing and to form a coven and go down the witch's road is his dream. He's a fanboy-esque and in his element, which is very fun because I was too. So
nice.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
welcome, Scottish geek guy.
Oh yeah, welcome. That's a second Disney property that's been referred to as Goonies.
Yes, it is.
The Skeleton Crew.
It was Star Wars with Goonies.
Is being called Star Wars Goonies. Goonies done in Star Wars. Now we're saying that Agatha is Goonies with witches.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, sounds like Wyatt Russell. Speaking of Wyatt Russell, we accidentally referred to. Apparently, he might be dodging Disney snipers because he revealed at Comic-Con that Bucky Barnes is a congressman in Thunderbolts.
What?
Thunderbolts hashtag. Or not hashtag, asterisk. So Wyatt Russell made a joke about Bucky washing his vibranium arm in the dishwasher at Comic-Con. So, and then Sebastian Stan said one has to say at some point to make sure that things do get clean, and so it's a very efficient way of doing it fast. Stan joked he uses a lot less water in the dishwasher than in the shower.
Yeah.
So it sounds like he legit uses a dishwasher for his arm. And then during the exchange, Russell must have dodged a Disney sniper because then he let it slip that Bucky was a congressman, and it is likely that they are probably didn't have that on their list of announcements. So.
Ooh. Long as it's not as awkward as Tom Holland's shit.
Oh, there's always someone, man. There's always someone. And honestly, is that really that big a thing? I will say though, my immediate speculation went to are the Thunderbolts government sanctioned, and is Bucky going to be their handler?
It could be.
You know, if he's a congressman.
Yeah. That could be it.
Also, I've been seeing.
Who the fuck elected Bucky Barnes? For God's sake.
I've been. Well, America's really good at electing 100-year-old people. What? So,
fair.
The other thing I want to point out, I've been seeing a lot of people confusing online, is in the comics, Thunderbolts have absolutely no connection naming-wise to Thunderbolt Ross. Mm-hmm. And I think that right now, with Thunderbolt Ross being president in Captain America 4, I think there may be a lot of people that might assume that the team is named after him. No, it's 100% in the comics. It's 100% a coincidence. Yeah. So I don't know if they're going to do the same thing in the MCU.
We'll see.
But it's just one of those things that I've seen people in the midst of all this news being like, oh, they're named after Ross, right? Nope. Totally different thing.
That's why the asterisk.
Maybe.
Underneath it, it's going to say no association to the president.
Yeah. Next up, David Harbour teases Thunderbolt's impact on the MCU. He said, quote, our characters are going to interact with something that they don't really understand, and it's fundamentally going to change the course of the way things expand. That's all I'm saying. Oh, my God, I'm going to get calls tomorrow. So
he dodged a Disney sniper, too.
He might be as well. I don't know if that means vibranium, or I'm sorry, adamantium. We know they're going to...
I got a hypothesis.
A lot of people are assuming that they're going to be going after the vibranium off of the celestial,
celestial hand.
So I don't know I don't know if he means that. But I don't know. I feel like this is the kind of thing that a lot of the marketing is getting down to, though, is trying to convince people that these movies are meaningful, which I think they all are. But I think that people have this idea that shit's less meaningful now than it used to be. So I think they're really trying to make sure people understand this is all moving towards something. So don't just pick to skip something out. What do you?
I got a little hypothesis then. He says, say his quote again one more time if you still got it there.
Our characters are going to interact with something that they don't really understand, and it's fundamentally changes the course of the way things expand. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we got the big announcement of Dr. Doom at Comic-Con, which we didn't cover last time.
No, it happened after.
It happened after we recorded.
Yes.
So
no, we reported a rumor that was
so fucking nuts that you were
days before that there was a rumor that came out. And I remember even throwing salt on it, where I'm like, let's throw some salt at this because this sounds crazy. But
so are we covering that?
I mean,
okay, so Robert Downey Jr.'s back, right? What if they're messing with something that connects the worlds? Because right now, when you look at it, we don't really have anything except for the Darkhold that lets people go in between universes. You have America.
Well, Rambo went through but that was like a forceful
one-off kind of situation.
Yeah.
We need something that makes it so that people can go there and people from there can come here.
So what you're saying is they need a Stargate.
What if that's what the Thunderbolts are going for? What if that's it? Because I can see where you're coming from with adamantium, but if Captain America's dealing with adamantium, wouldn't the Thunderbolts be doing something else if we got Cap over here? So I could see them being the reason why we get a pathway, a doorway, kind of thing. What if they're the reason that we get connected to the other worlds?
What if they're going to try to get Rambo back?
Yeah, what if it's that? And they connect to that world, because that's what he says, messing with something that they don't understand.
Yeah.
That makes me think of going somewhere.
Yeah.
The way he worded that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
characters are going to interact with something they don't really understand. I mean, that could even be
going to interact.
But that could be the Celestial too, though.
It could be, but I mean, you're going to send the Thunderbolts to do some mining? I mean, just call it Ben Affleck and Bruce Willis to go do the mining if we're going to be doing that.
What if they already sent people and something happened to them? It could be. We don't know. So
I just don't see Captain America and the Thunderbolts being about the Celestial.
And I disagree. Not saying I'm 100% sold on it, but I wonder if we're going to start seeing things more connected than we've seen. So, especially maybe even if it's a course correction where it's like, with the Infinity Stones, like those in the know kind of knew what was happening, but some people could have gone a ways before realizing, like, oh my God, you've been introducing Infinity Stones this whole time or whatever. But it all felt very disjointed until you realized afterwards it was all connected. I wonder if because fans are responding in a way they feel like none of this feels as good as the Infinity Saga, if they're going to start meshing stuff together.
Okay, it's too much of a slow burn. Let's pick it up. Pick
up
the pace
like
a
maybe
bit.
Cap has something to do with the Celestial and discovering something, but then the next movie is like, okay, well now we know what that is. We need to go get some. It could be something like that. I don't know.
It could be, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, what if we're looking at the next step? Because
could be.
We got Thunderbolts,
Cap, and Fantastic Four,
and then we have Avengers.
Yeah.
Right?
Is there something earlier in 26 though? Because Avengers isn't till May. Are they not doing an early release in 26? I wonder if it's not even announced yet. Because I don't think they've put all the... Because I did see a calendar, and I almost covered it for this episode. It's like, oh, Marvel's 2026 calendar. And I pulled it up, and it was like, untitled. Everything was untitled. I'm like, oh, fuck you. I'm not covering that.
According to Wikipedia, Captain America, Brave New World, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Blade, Avengers.
Yeah, but Blade has not been mentioned in 2025's dates.
I mean, it even says here that director TBA.
Yeah. There's no way. You can't.
No.
Yeah, there's no way.
So something might slide into that spot, which is the end of 2025. So Thunderbolts is May of 2025. Fantastic Four is July of 2025. And then Blade was supposed to be November 7th of 2025. And then Avengers Doomsday is May 1st of 26. So there is no other thing before Avengers.
But I wonder
unless that movie that takes Blade's spot gets pushed back.
I wonder if they've got a date in February of 26 though.
Yeah.
And that might be a Marvel. We just haven't got it announced yet.
Yeah.
So speaking of Fantastic Four, the Fantastic Four has a new title, and it is Fantastic Four First Steps. The Fantastic Four First Steps.
Yeah.
And we have a quote from Shackman. I think it's Matt Shackman, the director. He said, quote, "One of the things that we decided early on is we are not doing an origin story. One of the ways we're making it our own is we're not going to tell a story of them going up and being changed and starting our story there. There's a lot of well-known narratives that lead into that moment, right? And then you're making up a new story starting basically at the end of the first act. And we thought, well, let's just start this thing off on a completely new foot. So we are beginning after that.
Good.
So hallelujah. Yeah, I don't need to see the fucking Fantastic Four's origin stories.
No, if you need to know what the Fantastic Four origin story is, look it up.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as obvious as Batman or Superman, which should never be seen on screen
or
again.
Spider-Man.
Or Spider-Man.
Those three never ever should be on film again.
But I said that before, and then No Way Home proved me wrong, because that ended up being that this whole trilogy was an origin story, and it's like, you bamboozled me.
My wife says in the chat, no origin stories.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's like a character that's a little bit more off the beaten path. But
Mike says that no one needs the origin story.
Yeah, indeed. And then Scottish Geek guy said, kind of looking forward to Agatha. WandaVision is one of the stronger Disney Plus MCU shows. I totally agree.
Yeah.
And Catherine Hahn is a goddess. Like, just
Yeah.
I would serve witches if she was the witch. I absolutely. I mean, she's wonderful.
Yeah.
She's just got such a charm to her.
And it's got
Audrey Plaza.
Audrey Plaza. That's it.
I mean, yeah. Like, just take me.
Yeah.
Like, just. I'm yours. I'll do whatever you want.
Yes, ma'am.
Like Rose the Hat kind of thing, on the Stephen King side. So next up is the big one. One of the big ones. The Russo brothers are back. This all feels strange because we talked about some speculation on stuff, but we've been speculating about the director of the next Avenger movies for months, and we've had things from Sam Raimi, the Deadpool and Wolverine director,
Sean Levy.
We've had a number of different ones where it's like it could be. We've even covered rumors that the Russo brothers could be, but they were announced at Comic-Con about an hour after we ended our last episode that they are indeed back for the next 2 Avengers movies, as well as they revealed the titles. Avengers Doomsday is coming May 2026, and Avengers Secret Wars, that has not changed title-wise, is coming May 2027. Kang Dynasty was originally the first Avengers movie that has now been changed to Doomsday. And the other thing I wanted to point out is the band is back together. The Russo brothers, Stephen McFeely, although sadly Christopher Marcus is not returning, but McFeely, that's the pair that wrote the Infinity War and all those things. So Stephen McFeely is back to be writing both films, as well as they have announced Alan Silvestri is going to be back scoring both films. So that iconic Avengers theme that he created will be in full force.
Yes.
So pretty awesome. I mean, obviously they're undefeated. Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. Is it 4 that they've done?
I think so. Yeah.
And all 4 are widely considered
the
fucking
best.
Amazing. Yeah, like everything they've touched has been gold. Even though it's strange because I still think back to the fact that
they didn't direct Doctor Strange.
When they got signed on, one of the big things they were known for is Arrested Development.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, you're bringing people from Arrested Development to direct an Avengers movie? Like, I remember being kind of questioning that a bit, where I'm like, how do those translate?
Yeah.
Like, and it worked out fine, but because it wasn't even it was for Winter Soldier. That they got brought on. I was like, really?
For a Captain America
like,
movie?
I'm like, Winter Soldier. I knew where it was going because I know the comics enough to know Bucky is the Winter Soldier. But I'm like, you're gonna put that in the hands of Arrested Development guys? Like.
And then,
all right.
holy shit.
And then I was like, oh my God, this is one of the best Marvel movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Next up is the even bigger one, though. Doomsday is, of course, Doctor Doom, and Doctor Doom is Robert Downey Jr.
Yep.
Which, again, we covered in the rumors, and I don't know how the fuck it's real, but apparently it is. So
we'll find out.
So it is. He got on stage. I have it on the screen here. He was in a very cheap costume and pulled the mask off. Everyone lost their mind. He posted on Instagram with him facing the mask and said, I can't remember what he said, and I can't read it. It's
new mask, same task.
Same task. And then
the Russo brothers responded and said, we've always said green is your color, ...
And the cool thing about this is when the Russos backed out, or not backed out, but when they finished up their run with Endgame, they said, we're kind of tired, not of Marvel, but we're spent. We want to go on and do our own thing for a bit. But they did say the door is always open. We'd always be willing to come back. Yeah. And they were asked, like, is there any dream project you have? And they said from the get-go, Secret Wars.
Yeah.
And both of them have said since they were kids in the 80s, the Secret Wars is one of their favorite comics of all time. So that's why I've kind of thought they might end up being the answer, because it's like the second of the 2 movies is Secret Wars. I know they're drooling over that, and how can Marvel would be idiots to know they're interested and not sign them up. So.
Well, yeah. Also, at the same time, let's let them do the setup as well. So if you're the Russo brothers and your favorite thing is Secret Wars, why would you let someone else do Doomsday?
Yeah.
No, let me set it up properly.
I know the Kang stuff sucks, but like honestly, this makes so much more sense because like Kang, I never understood how that was going to work. Like we're going to go from Kang Dynasty to Secret Wars because you need Doom. Like Battle Planet is his thing. Like,
oh, is it?
It is. So it's like
I've never read Secret Wars, so
it's just one of those things where it just felt like it'd almost be like, Thanos has never been introduced, and like we had, say it was just bunched up with like Age of Ultron, and it was Age of Ultron, then the next year was Infinity War. Like,
Wait, where's Thanos?
It would be like, well, where the fuck is Thanos? Like, it wouldn't make as much sense. So this makes way more sense. And not that I loved Kang. I wanted to see more of Kang. I'm totally agreeing with why they got rid of him. But I am excited that Doom is a much better lead in to the movie. So next up, we got a rumor that Robert Downey Jr. and the Russos are getting paid.
Oh, yeah.
According to Variety, and so this is a rumor, but this is coming from
Variety.
The Russos are going to be paid $80 million to direct the next 2 Avengers movies.
Holy shit.
But you want to hear the better part?
Robert Downey Jr. $100 million?
Robert Downey Jr. is getting, quote, significantly more.
Oh.
The estimates previous to all this is that he's brought in somewhere in the $300 to $400 million range for MCU up to this point. So he's probably getting up to near $500 million would be my guess by the end of it all. So Robert Downey Jr. allegedly, this is a rumor as well, told Feige the only way that he would return is if the Russo brothers were directing. So it sounds like maybe there even was a little bit more questions as to where that was going to go. But then when they were talking to Robert and he's like, I'll come back, but it's got to be them. And
they're like, all right.
It's like, all right, well, there you go. I love that, though, because it's like I'm sure he appreciates what they did, and like they probably got friendly. And, it's like friends looking out for friends. I appreciate that.
Mike says Robert Downey Jr. can actually buy his own country now.
Pretty much. Or at least rent one. Next up, rumor, Doom's first appearance is allegedly going to be in the Fantastic Four movie.
Which makes sense.
Likely a mid-credit or post-credit scene, so don't expect him to be a big part of the movie.
Well, we know the bad guy in Fantastic Four is Galactus.
Yeah. So, but that it would make total sense. I mean, honestly, I might twitch a little if it weren't Fantastic Four. Like if it was like the end of the post-credits and it wasn't him at all, I'd be like, yeah. Like, Dr. Doom. He's going to show up in something that's not Fantastic Four.
It's Doom. He is Fantastic Four's like #1 bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's Doom.
It's like, remember the first time the Joker ever showed up in that Superman movie? It just doesn't make any sense. Next up, we got a rumor, the Doom's motivation and goals. This is from a industry leaker, so you can go ahead and take this with a grain of salt because who knows if it'll be true.
Yeah.
But his leak is Doom isn't truly evil. He believes that he is saving the multiverse from incursions. According to his twisted logic, the only way for the multiverse to survive is to unify all universes in one place, Battleworld, under his rule. He sees this as the sole path to ensuring the survival for everyone.
Oh.
So kind of a Thanos-y kind of not just mustache twirling.
I'm right.
Yeah.
Kinda
Which
guy.
follows Doom. Like he's, villainous, but like there's a lot of times that he can sometimes be where you're like, kind of makes sense in some way. Not this, but like there's times in the comics where it's like
he's kind of got a point.
He's got some points. Like let's not dispatch him just because his name is Doom. And then the last news article we've got here, it's another rumor that the movies between Avengers, the Avengers next to Avengers movies, allegedly the rumor is will all have the same setting.
Oh.
And it says, quote, this is again a leaker, so grain of salt, quote, everything that comes between Avengers 5 and 6 that isn't a prequel will be set on Battleworld.
Oh, we'll just be telling different stories there.
Yes, so that sounds like, and it says also part of the quote, if Spider-Man 4 is Battleworld, it would make for a very interesting Spider-Man movie.
Yes, it would.
And it makes me wonder, we've already heard some rumors that like, Spider-Man's completely detached from, he has no one left and he's just kind of swallowed into the Spider-Man role. What if that's into the first act, but then at the end of the first act he gets sucked into Battleworld and the rest of the movie's
Battleworld. Yeah.
Like, dude. I will say,
just hook it to my face.
And again, kind of what I was saying earlier, I was cheating a little bit because I had this rumor in my head already, but it's like, what if like you kind of everyone was on Battleworld and it wasn't till Doomsday that like they all have to like, and then Secret Wars, like it all cascades into like the larger things. So very interesting, very very interesting. A lot of Comic-Con news obviously, but yeah, wonderful stuff. Can't wait to,
it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, indeed. So that brings us over to the main topic, which again, I forgot to change this slides.
I mean, that's all right. It's the same thing. So this side of Endgame, it says down there in the little subheading.
Oh yeah. So
it is this side of Endgame, which, like you said earlier, came out in 2019. My idea was just that we've had 11 movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe since the change of the decade, we've had Black Widow, Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, The Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Marvels, and Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep.
It gives us 11 movies. So the idea is just, what are your top 10 moments? Now, I say moments, but honestly, I'm going to be okay if you say scene. Because some of those moments come at the end of a scene and what happened in the scene.
Well, moments can even go beyond a scene, too.
It's true.
So, yeah, moments a little bit more elastic than
exactly
a scene or whatever.
And that's why I wanted to do that, because it is an important thing for us to recognize these movies, because like we said, we've kind of insinuated here in this episode, there's not a lot of people enjoying a ton of everything top to bottom.
Yeah, I'd say the vocal critics are that there's been a step down since. But
exactly. And I want to give some love to each of these movies, because when I wanted to do my list, and I wanted to do it properly. I mean, I didn't go through and watch every single movie, although I have watched several of these movies recently.
Which I will say up front, I have not had a lot of chance to rewatch a lot of these. So
there's been a lot to watch over the last few years.
This was a good barometer, though, of like where some of these movies sit for me, where I need to rewatch some of them, because some of them I was just like, I don't know. But I ended up coming up with 21, so it's not that I was like hurting to make a list. So yeah, that was my original. Original shotgun list was 21. So it was a healthy list.
That was a question I had for you, so thanks for answering that preemptively. I also, 24.
Mike said it's like Kaleidoscope from Netflix about the rumor about everyone being on Battle World. You ever hear about that Kaleidoscope?
No.
Like, it was a show Netflix did that if you watched it, like all the episodes, I guess, were the same.
But out of order.
It would be in different orders.
Yes, you did tell me about that.
And like everyone would see it differently. Apparently there was only a couple things that were like set where they had to be. Or I think the last one had to be. I don't remember. But either way, it was a very interesting like thing.
Concept,
and I wonder if that's what we'll end up seeing. If that rumor ends up being true, which is really badass.
Yeah,
if we'll end up seeing, like, because Battle World could be big, so it's like you might even see it to where like Shang-Chi is there and Spider-Man's there. They don't necessarily cross each other in their movies, or not until a post-credit scene or whatever. So it's a very interesting concept.
Spider-Man's talking to Bucky Barnes and the Thunderbolts, and an explosion happens in the background. They're like, what the hell is that? Well, we better get away from here.
Yeah.
And then you find out that explosion is Shang-Chi fighting someone, you know?
And the other thing is, with Battle World, I wonder if we get like a Thanos-y type thing where Doom is collecting heroes to Battle World.
He could be. Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, it's
gonna be so much fun.
I'm bustling with geekiness.
Yeah,
I love it.
So we got our top 10. Do you have any honorable mentions?
I do.
All right, how many you got?
All of us do. Because I've got your list, my list, and Lydia's list.
Oh, my wife, yeah.
I've got 6. You've got 3, and she has 5.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to highlight them. I didn't number that the honorable mention
section.
Worries. So,
let's. How many did you say you had? You have 5.
I've got 6.
You got 6. Let's start with yours since you got the most.
All right. So, my first honorable mention, Zombie Strange from Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah.
The Zombie Strange with the fucking soul cape is like one of the coolest fucking images I've ever seen.
The hands and everything.
And like he's just dead, decomposed. It's fucking amazing. And it's so Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Like, as a longtime Sam Raimi fan, back to like Evil Dead times, like I remember like kind of being like, with the Spider-Man movies. So I'm like, they're cool, good Spider-Man movies, but it's like, it's Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi.
Like, yeah, like so this movie was just an absolute joy for me, and because that is maybe the most quintessential Sam Raimi element in the Doctor Strange movie. There's some other really cool stuff. There's a few scenes in there that play like full-on fucking horror movies.
Yeah.
Great stuff. But that was just...
couple jump scares for sure.
Yes, and that was just so Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Like, that just felt like Evil Dead. So, loved that. I guess we also should say spoiler warnings for.
I guess we should say spoiler warnings for all 11 of these movies. But if you haven't seen 11 of these movies, and we did talk about Deadpool and Wolverine last time.
Yeah,
it's been out for a few weeks now. If you haven't watched Deadpool and Wolverine, I know I have a few scenes on there from that.
Yeah,
I don't know if you do.
Yeah. Well, that's my next honorable mention. Nice Pool being murdered.
Dude, you could not stop laughing.
Oh my God, I missed a handful of jokes because I was laughing so hard I couldn't breathe. And it wasn't necessarily played for laughs, but I love dark humor.
Yeah.
And I knew even before he said anything, I'm like, he doesn't fucking regenerate.
Regenerate?
So when he said that, dude, I just fucking lost it. Like, I haven't laughed that hard in theaters for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And the second time I saw it, I was able to catch some of the shit I missed because I couldn't stop laughing. Yeah. And then Caden was going crazy on the side of me too, and that
you bounce off of
it.
each other. Yeah,
and it's just
he's laughing, you're laughing, he's making you laugh, you're making him laugh, and it just escalates from there.
So good. And then my next, so that's Deadpool, Wolverine. Zombie Strange was Doctor Strange: The Multiverse Madness. My next one is the scaffolding fight from Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
That was an incredible one. I actually remember Hayden getting a little bit queasy,
because it's like the heights,
and it was just very well choreographed.
Yeah,
good stuff there. And then the next one, similarly, also Shang-Chi, is the bus fight.
Yeah,
honorable mention for sure. And then my second to last one, Matt Murdock showing up in Spider-Man. That was giddy because it's easy to forget, but at the time we didn't know that Netflix existed in the MCU. Right.
Yeah. They'd always been separate.
There had never been anything. The MCU always, or the Netflix stuff referred to the MCU, but the MCU never reciprocated.
Nope.
So it always felt like kind of like that kid in school. It's like, I'm your friend. You're like, sure you are, kid.
We're best friends. You're my best. I'm your best friend.
Yeah.
What it is.
And not. I know that sounds mean, but it just felt to me like in Endgame, you telling me that one of those portals couldn't show fucking, Charlie Cox,
Luke Cage.
So it just felt like there was every opportunity to show them, even in a split second, and they never did it. So I was just like, this isn't the same universe.
Yeah.
Like they wanted it to be, the Netflix side wanted it to be, but it's not.
Yeah.
And this
just like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, and this is the first time. Well, that one was a little bit more. Well, I don't know. I guess the MCU never really tabbed that as well.
And they have officially said that it's not canon anymore.
Yeah, which is fine. I could never get through that show. Everyone kept telling me it was good. I never could get through the first season.
Me and my wife got through the first season and a couple episodes into the second, and we're just like, nah.
Yeah, it wasn't doing it for me. But yeah, so him showing up in Spider-Man was the first time. I mean, we obviously saw Kingpin in the Hawkeye series, as well as, what else have we seen from the Netflix side now? Or he showed up in She-Hulk as well. But Spider-Man was the first time, so it was just like that.
Wasn't the hand mentioned once?
I don't remember, but not before Spider-Man. So
no, because was it Shang-Chi that mentioned them?
Maybe.
I think they might have they decimated him or something like that.
Maybe. So yeah, him showing up was a big moment, but it did miss my top 10. And then my last one is Jane entering Valhalla in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
That was pretty great, seeing Heimdall again. I'm a big Idris Elba fan, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
So that was really cool to see him, but also have that element of the entering Valhalla as a warrior was just getting chills thinking of it. It was just a really cool moment. So honorable mentions, sadly, but those are my honorable mentions.
All right. You want to do my wife's since she sent it to you, not me?
Yeah, well, she wanted it read. So. First one, Daredevil cameo, Spider-Man No Way Home. So there we go. Yeah. Fight scene with the villains in Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh, the apartment one? Yeah.
Yeah. And this next one, I'm confused a bit.
Okay.
All of the Deadpools coming out of the Marvel Sparkle Circle and Doctor Strange. I don't remember anything Deadpool and Doctor Strange.
I think do you mean Deadpool, honey? She's in the chat, so she can clarify.
That's what she said, Deadpools.
I think she meant the Doctor Strange Sparkle Circle, but...
Oh, yeah. Oh, so you mean
Deadpool.
In the Deadpool movie. That would make more sense.
All the Deadpools coming out of the Doctor Strange Sparkle Circle in Deadpool.
Yes.
That's what it is.
That makes sense. And I'm like, I've had a stroke if that was in Doctor Strange, because there was...
Yes, she meant in Deadpool.
Because the thing that tripped me out is because there was rumors that Deadpool was going to be showing up in Doctor Strange.
Oh.
There were heavy rumors. And and I even looked it up to see, and there was still all out where it was that was...
You're like, did I just miss this?
I'm like, dude, how?
Yeah.
Of the movies, I think I probably watched this one more than any of the others.
Yeah.
So
all the pools showing up in Deadpool and Wolverine is what it is.
Okay.
She confirmed it in the chat.
All right. My favorite one's the Greatest Showman, Deadpool. That's probably my favorite obscure one that's there. And
I like the soccer one. That one makes me smile.
Yeah, I did like the Vulgar Child too. That was pretty good.
Which is his kid, Ryan Reynolds' kid.
Yeah. Next one, when Yelena does the superhero landing, then shudders in Black Widow. She's so great, dude.
It has pockets.
Florence Pugh.
That made my shotgun list is the conversation with her and Nat in the car. She's like, thanks, it's got pockets.
Yeah. And then last one for her is title sequence tribute to Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was sad stuff.
Mm-hmm. My 3 honorable mentions is I got the Killmonger scene in Black Panther Wakanda Forever where Siri takes the synthetic heart-shaped herb and goes into the ancestral plane and walks around the throne, and you're like, oh, they got Chadwick to do one last thing, and nope, it's fucking Killmonger. That whole scene is just so good.
It is.
And then honorable mention, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's the first fuck in the MCU. Then what? Open the fucking door.
And see, I would even say then if we counted Netflix, then it wouldn't be right because there's F-bombs in there. So yeah, there's
we're talking film.
No, I'm just saying though that's more proof the Netflix shit does not count in the MCU. Yeah. I mean, I know the multiverse stuff is bringing them in now, but that now actually that's given us the most confirmation that Feige doesn't never consider the Netflix stuff MCU
because they swear
because they called that the first F-bomb in the MCU.
They sure did.
Okay, that is we just accidentally confirmed that the Netflix stuff was never part of the MCU. Yep. Doesn't matter now because multiverse shit exists.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
And then my last honorable mention, I had a like I said, I think I had like 21 to 24 somewhere like that on my shotgun list. These 3 just stood out above all the rest. Doc Ock versus Peter on the freeway in Spider-Man No Way Home. Hello, Peter. Do we know each other? Do I know you? That whole fight is good. Him taking over the tentacles and them looking at him and everything. Yeah. It brought back so many memories of Spider-Man 2, which I loved. So.
And I loved the what do they call it in Infinity War? The strange magic when you just like paired characters together that had never been seen before. I think it was the same thing where it was just like Dr. Octopus from the original movies against Tom. It was just an interesting dichotomy to see these characters interacting.
It was so nice how well they worked together too. Like it was like, oh, like it should be Tobey Maguire, but Tom Holland and him they have great chemistry together, the two of them. So it was great.
Yeah.
All right.
I love Dr. Octopus too.
All right. So now we're going to start with number 10, and we're going to still do it the same way that we started doing on Geekery Abides. Is we are going to go 10 through 1.
Obviously, we're not Philistines.
Exactly. And if we're just going to go my list, we'll go up 10 through 1. Me starting, I mean, each time. And then if any...
Let me go first.
Like you go first? Okay, Tad will go first. And then if any of mine match Tad's, and they may not be the same number, we're still going to talk about it at the same time.
Spoiler alert, there's 3 that match.
3 that match?
Yes.
All right. And I did not think that we would have a single one that matched, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
So number 10, let's start with my wife's, actually.
Okay. So number 10, she has Wanda trying to escape the mirror dimension through reflections.
Oh, cover all the reflections, like the puddle and everything.
Was very Sam Raimi.
That is very Sam Raimi horror.
Like when I was thinking to myself, like it felt like a horror movie. That's the first thing that came to mind.
That's exactly what I thought of, too.
It was.
Yeah.
I love that movie, man. I really do.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. So is it?
So you're number 10.
My number 10. And I will say, I think I said we match on 3. It's your 10, 9, 8.
Oh, it's my 10, 9, and 8 that we match on?
Yeah.
Nice.
So my number 10. Oh yeah, I forgot. I've got to do this slide thing like this.
You got to be crafty, Ted.
Yeah, I forgot it. I always forget about that. One of these days I'll remember. But it is T'Challa's son reveal. That's a big.
Yeah,
that was a big one for me.
Made my shotgun list. Almost made my honorable mentions, but Killmonger.
Yeah. For me, because like I will still say I will never agree with the idea of not just recasting the character. I just think that is the biggest diss on, because the character is bigger than the actor always. I don't care who it is. Batman's been how many people?
9.
Superman. It's just these characters transcend actors.
Yeah.
And like for Black Panther, as important as he's been to a lot of, especially like black kids and stuff, like it just seems really shitty to me to kill the character because the actor died. Like it just, it's never sat right with me. I whatever. It's their choice, but like. I don't know. It's a comic book thing. Like, is Logan? You're gonna never do Wolverine again if he was killed in a car accident. Hugh Jackman. Like, no, you don't, because Wolverine is fucking massive. And I just think I think that like that would be my general thought anyway, but also just the importance that he played to a lot of people. I mean, I remember there were like schools are taking entire classes of kids to this movie and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was huge, and it was a cultural thing. So
yeah,
I've never agreed with the idea of letting the character die, but having accepted that was the case, this was kind of a cool, I don't know, like cool moment because it felt like a way of like, you know, a handoff a little bit. Not that this kid's going to be Black Panther in any time quick, but it's like it made you feel like T'Challa's still there in some
still
sense.
with us. Yeah.
It was emotional. It wasn't the post credit scene too.
Yes.
So, but yeah, and then like because they play cagey with that lady a few times during the movie and like whatever, and like I was suspicious, and then like the movie like tries to get you to forget, but I was like, there's something going on here, and I kept it in the back of my mind. So when the credits hit, I'm like, got to be post credits or I'm fucking pissed because you can't set something up and not pay it off.
Exactly.
And then it was there, and it was just a really cool and touching moment for sure.
It was
kind of, I guess that's in the place of like the, you know, in the honorable mentions, like the Chadwick Marvel logo and stuff. Like I think we all probably have those moments that were impacted us with his passing.
Yeah.
And for me, the kid thing is probably the one that jumped out at me the most.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right.
So your number 10?
Yeah, my number 10.
And
which is on your list.
It is. It is my number 2.
Your number 2. Holy shit. Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire show up in Spider-Man No Way Home.
And you know me, man. Like, I try not to let nostalgia be too heavy. In fact, I even tried to, like, not let this be too high.
Yeah.
But, like, I can't lie to myself, man. As much as I tried to just be like, yeah, whatever. They're going to be in this movie.
Dude, we
like,
screamed.
Like,
we all cheered.
I was a little bit slow because, like, I guess I don't know their costumes enough. So, like, when Andrew's Spider-Man came through, I didn't immediately recognize it as Andrew. I was like, it's going to be one of the other two. I just don't know whose it is. Like, people are screaming behind us. I'm like, well, they see who it is. And I've looked at the costumes closer. I'm like, I could see where people could tell, but I didn't have that shit.
It's the raised webbing on Andrew Garfield. Tobey Maguire
No, Tobey has the raised webs. Andrew's, it's his eyes or something are like really big.
I thought Andrew, or maybe it was vice versa, since he didn't have the raised, and he's a little bit taller than Tobey. So it's like, yep, that's Andrew. And then he takes the mask off, and we all fucking lost
with
it,
the mask,
man.
that's what for sure. And I, like I said, I wanted to have it lower, but it was just...
the screen hasn't updated, by the way.
Oh, because I didn't push that. There we go.
Thank you.
Again, I've got two screens on my thing, and sometimes I lose track.
I know, they're flipped, right? They're the wrong...
Yes, indeed. So, Tobey and Andrew, so go ahead.
This scene is one of those ones that I look back on.
Oh, yeah.
It's right up there with...
I don't have it cataloged with your wife's like match as well.
That's okay.
It's her number 4. So
it's her number 4. Okay. That's all good. But this scene is one of those moments that will go down in my memory as one where the theater lost its fucking mind.
Yeah.
This is on your left in Endgame. This is up there with like the cameos in Deadpool and Wolverine. This is up there with those ones. And I would say it's even higher than the cameos of Deadpool and Wolverine. It's up there with Endgame, where people lost their fucking mind.
Yeah.
We had people standing up and cheering. Do you remember that in our theater?
Yeah.
Like, people were standing up and, like, applauding Andrew Garfield when he showed up, and it was just as loud when Tobey showed up.
Yeah.
It's one of those moments. That's the only reason why, not the only reason why it made my list. It's the reason why it made my list over those 3 honorable mentions, is that this is going to be one of those moments that every time I watch it, I get goosebumps.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah. Agreed. And for me, again, I try to fight the nostalgia a bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, 2000, the first movie for Andrew, 2012 for
Tobey.
Those are a long time ago, and it's hard not to be nostalgic. But also, again, it's kind of like the Matt Murdock thing. Like, it's just this, even though there were suspicions, to actually have it.
Yeah.
It was just like, holy shit, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, I know the villains were there, but it just there's a possibility that there's the movie with the villains but not the Spider-Man. Like, that's easily something you could do. So it's just
and the trailer lied to us point blank, where it's the Statue
times.
of Liberty and he's going towards them. There was absolutely both of them there in the actual movie. They just CG'd them out.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why I've come to agree with you. I don't trust a single fucking thing in the trailer till I see it in the actual movie.
Yeah, they bamboozle us all the
time. They did it in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Hulk's in Infinity War trailer.
Yeah.
He's in the first 5 minutes of the movie and never seen again.
Yeah.
Like full Hulk, not like no, and then disappearing again. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not.
But I will also say the crossover moment was huge, but also to me the scenes were written brilliantly.
Oh, they were great.
Those intro scenes. I mean, there's other stuff I really wanted at just that geeking out of the three Spider-Men together almost made my overall list, even probably over this.
Made my shotgun
list. No fights, but just that moment where they're up on the scaffolding talking to each other about
before the fight.
Yeah, that was all just really cool shit. But to me, it was like the intro, not only just that moment, but also those scenes and like the what's his name, Ned and MJ talking to these different Spider-Men was incredible.
One of the ones that made my shotgun list that didn't make my final list is the lab scene with the three of them, where you just see the science Peter. Yeah? All three of them.
Peter Parker.
All three of them. Yeah. Like that scene is so good because not only do we get the other side of Spider-Man, which is always important for the characters, is that a lot of characters are not one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Iron Man has layers, you know.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man, one of the most important things is he is so fucking smart.
Yeah.
He is one of the most intelligent heroes in the entire universe.
Yeah.
And so to showcase that not once, not twice, but 3 times was like up there for me.
Yeah.
But Toby and Andrew had great chemistry here. Toby comes through and their spidey senses go off at each other and they shoot webs. Seeing Spider-Man fight Spider-Man was kind of cool, even though it wasn't like a full-on fight and everything.
Get the spider webs in the corner.
Yes, can you get the webs in the corner? Yeah, it's got great humor. She's throwing rolls at him.
Saying that it's not enough when he's dangling.
Yeah, he's hitting it from the root. It's not enough. He's like, come on.
You know, I will say, too, I watched both Andrew movies, but I don't think I ever embraced that version as much. Like, I liked him better than Toby in terms of I think he embodied the character better because he had like the quippy element. Yeah. But I think there was just part of me that never truly opened my arms to that version of the character very much. And I think it wasn't until this movie, you know, and these scenes are the start of it, that I truly like embraced and loved him, and honestly came away from it thinking to myself, I think he's the best Spider-Man.
Really? Over Tom Holland?
In terms of just acting, I think he's a better actor than both guys, and I think that like he has a depth and a nuance and a warmth that neither of the others, I'm not saying they don't have, but they don't have to his level. Okay. His Spider-Man is just like, I don't know, there's just something about it. And I never would have said that had it not been for this movie. So, and I mean, even outside of these movies, I think Andrew's an incredible fucking actor.
He's great.
You know, so, but, so I also think it's helped me kind of go back and enjoy his movies more. Yeah. Because I think it was also in that era where everything was like the dark and gritty fucking remakes for everything. And so I think I was a little bit like against those movies a little bit because it was just like, why? Don't do this to Spider-Man. Like, I don't know. And it was also so soon after the Toby movies that it was just like, what are we doing here, man? Like, so I don't think I ever never embraced those as heavily as I did the Toby and the Tom versions. So this really helped kind of almost redeem Andrew for me in a way and elevate him to the point where, I'd say that I think that now overall I may like Tom's probably the best in terms of like overall because he looks younger, he's playing the younger, and he has like that naivete that I don't think either of the other, because I think they have, it's kind of like Batman's where you rank like who does Batman best, who does Bruce Wayne best, who does both of them well, like, and it's like a different thing, and it's like I think they all bring something different to the role, and I do think that Tom's feels a lot more like a true high school kid, and he feels like the geeky Spider-Man that would get picked on way more, like you know, they all have different facets they bring, but I think overall I love Andrew. He's just such a talented dude.
He's so great.
And this movie, you see some depth from him where it was just like, it's very subtle.
And you get even more character development with him, too.
Yeah.
Him and Toby both get great character development with him.
Yeah. So that's big moment for me in number 2.
Awesome.
Yeah, so.
Let's go to your number 9?
Yeah, so
my wife's number 9 first.
So her number 9, the hidden guns inside Groot.
Oh, yeah, the going against the High Evolutionary.
Yeah, he was great. He was such a great villain.
That was a good fight.
He was just a great villain.
Oh, he's a great villain, too, yeah.
He's got to be one of the more dastardly MCU villains,
Dude, he's
right?
evil.
Yeah, just that's what I'm saying.
Like genocide.
And we
dude.
have Nazis in the MCU, but it's like, but I mean,
we got people who make Nazis look good.
Well, not good, but less bad. Like he outdoes the Nazis because he's doing it like on a global
Hydra.
Well, he's doing it like on a global.
Yeah.
You know, Hydra's trying to do their own little thing, but he's like got planets that he's like created and wiped out.
Yes.
Like, that's like genocide.
Dude, that's
on like
so bad.
Yeah, like it's just nuts. Like, and the actor fucking nailed it.
Oh yeah,
that would be Kang if you're gonna recast it for me. That
you should just do it and make it like, oh, was he a King variant that went? Mm-hmm.
And then my number 9, it's actually slightly fitting. We understand Groot.
Yes.
The last line where I think we've all now understood what they were attempting for it. That I remember people being a little bit confused at first that it wasn't like I don't know. People I remember immediately after people like, oh, so he learned to speak outside of just I am, whatever.
We understood him.
Yeah, we understood because now we're part of the family.
Exactly.
So,
that's a great one.
That was a big moment for me, and kind of that was a big one. It was just emotional. It was really cool. Well done. Groot was probably one of the MVPs of the Guardians movies. So, and probably the most vastly different in every movie. He was a radically different character than the movies previous.
Great job by Vin Diesel bringing that character to life. I know he struggled with that. that many lines.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So that is my number 9.
It's a good one. I like that one. And so my number 9 is another one that's on your list, right?
It is.
It's in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. The Illuminati get fucking wrecked by Wanda Maximoff.
Yes. Sorry, I just there we go.
Yep.
It changed my tab.
Oh, it's your number 3.
It's my number 3. So
my 10 is your 2. My 9 is your 3. Is my 8 your 4? Please tell me it is, because that would be perfectly balanced.
And then Meek Myko said Groot was one of my most underrated, even for me. I loved him rewatching the movie. He's
so good.
He's just a great, and I think that because he's a great character, but also what I appreciate is just the differences. Like, you know, like I'm not going to say that none of the other characters grow because they all do, but his are like not even growth. They're like different fucking characters. And I mean, literally they're different because the first one he's dead. The first Groot dies. Like the other ones are like offspring almost.
Yeah. And then you get Baby Groot in
Baby
2.
Groot.
And then you get Teenage Groot in Infinity War and Endgame.
And then
like young adult Groot.
Yeah. Yoked 20-year-old Groot.
And disgusting Groot. They're like, oh, Groot, no! Like, he's just nasty.
Yeah. Oh, and then this is also Lydia's number 3. Wanda versus
her
the
number
Illuminati.
3.
So we lined up there too.
You and her.
Yeah.
All right.
This
whole fight and the what mouth and everything, and then we just got introduced to John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, and it's like everyone's been wanting it, everyone's been cheering for it, everyone's been campaigning for it. And then she just cuts him to ribbons.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, so good. And then I love that the last one standing is
Xavier.
Xavier. But no, like
standing.
No, that's what I was saying. Standing. Not before Xavier showed up. Of the 4 that went down to fight her first is Carter.
Yeah.
Like,
or no, wasn't it Rambo?
No, Rambo got squished and then Carter was still there. Because then she throws the shield, Wanda catches it and back. If I remember right, I may have that backwards.
Yeah, but I thought it was Rambo because it made sense because she would be the most powerful.
Yeah, because that's what I thought is like. Well, Carter survived longer than Mr. Fantastic and Black Bolt. It's like it's the same thing with like Cap. It's like, why are you here? Like, what power do you really have aside from super strength? Like, come on, you're not like invulnerable or anything, you know.
Yeah.
But it was amazing to see Wanda basically just go fucking postal. And she's all dripping with oil from all the Ultrons that she killed.
Yeah.
And everything. It's just such a great scene. And
that was cool to see. Ultron.
And then again, talking about Sam Raimi's horror, the freaking scene with Xavier, like where she snaps his neck and everything.
And he's
good Lord.
And he's wearing the Steve Jobs sweater.
My wife confirms Carter dies first, then Rambo gets squished. So I had it backwards.
I thought so.
Yeah.
And he's wearing the Steve Jobs.
Yep.
Thing.
She just snaps his neck. Oh,
Wanda, I love her.
Oh yeah,
I just do.
It's my wife's favorite character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
She's so wonderful, and to finally see her just be able, because that was my hope going into the movie, because they hid that pretty well. You know, like we knew that she'd be there, but we didn't know she was the villain of the movie. So, but I had my hopes going in. I'm like, please let her just be the fucking villain, dude.
Yep.
Just let her go nuts and just fucking wreck people's lives.
Yeah, and she does. She wrecks a lot of lives.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Yeah. What was the something about kids with Reed? They'll grow up without a...
Is your wife alive? And he's like, yes. She goes, good. Then they won't grow up without at least one parent. And she just shreds him.
Kind of like Thanos, except Thanos' was temporary.
Yeah.
With the Guardians.
Yep.
Yeah, so for me, I love this because, again, I was just hoping to just see, because I mean, we saw a glimpse of it in Infinity War with her. She fucking owned Thanos, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like
what, Infinity War or Endgame? Infinity War, she just kind of holds him back. In Endgame, she goes toe to toe with Thanos, and
that's right. That is
because he's rained fire.
Yeah, so that, like, I mean, I just know from the comics that she's one of the most powerful.
She's so powerful,
you know, and so to see it with Thanos is one thing, but then here it's just like, especially because you jumped to another universe, so it's like you could now have her kill like fucking top tier characters, right? It doesn't have to be like whatever, like, so I loved it the way they crafted it to where you're in a different universe. It's just cool, like her killing Reed Richards, like it's gonna mean a lot more to people in a couple of years when people start to understand, like,
because it's very powerful.
But also important, you know.
Yes.
Like the MCU will actually truly be able to show audiences like what the Fantastic Four are supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I think people will then be able to go back and rewatch that movie and go, "Oh my God, she just fucking destroyed.
She just wrecked him."
Yeah, exactly. So, it's just wonderful, and it's brutal as fuck. I think I love that too. Again, I think that with a different filmmaker, I don't know that this movie looks anywhere near what this movie ended up being. And part of it, I mean, there's the horror elements, there was the very Sam Raimi Evil Dead elements, and then I think this is the brutality elements.
Yes.
And I just don't know that you get this kind of brutality from another
This
filmmaker.
is the cut your own hand off with a chainsaw element of Sam Raimi.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
and to see it in the MCU was just, as a horror fan, I absolutely adored. So
yeah, and then she's just covered in goo the rest of the way. It's just like, ooh, gooey. All right, sir. What's my wife's number 8?
The animals revealed in Tallow from Shang-Chi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Pokemon?
In the
when they're driving in. No, like I remember in Shang-Chi in the theater, I was sitting next to my wife, obviously, and I leaned over to her and I'm like, oh my God, that one looks like Arcanine. Oh my God, that one looks like naming Pokemon to her.
I don't even know Pokemon except for the stupid yellow one, but I'm like, yeah, those kind of look like Pokemon to me.
That's what my wife puts in the chat. The Pokemon.
They were pretty adorable.
They were awesome.
I did like the faceless one though.
Morris, is that his name? I don't remember.
And there was more of them as they got into there. So
it's his family, like.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got the screen updated. I was just.
Yep.
That was one of my favorite little creatures.
Yeah, they're
Morris.
They're great. Yeah, Morris.
And seeing Trevor back was awesome too. But
Trevor was awesome.
Yeah, the animal's great.
Yeah.
And then sorry to disappoint you, but we actually share number 8.
We do share number 8. Oh, okay.
For our third.
That's all right. So number 8 for us is the Wolverine speech and van fight.
And for me, I just put van fight,
which is great.
I think the van fight is probably maybe my favorite action sequence in the entire movie.
Yeah.
It was just, it's so different.
Yeah.
But it was incredibly well done.
Yeah.
And like the speech before, you're right, I didn't include that, but it's absolutely there.
Oh, I'm going to fight you now.
Like, he shut Deadpool up. Like,
the mark with the mouth got shut up.
Who does that?
No one. He talks to everyone.
Yeah, he won't shut up. Like, that's the point of the character.
The only way to shut him up is to knock him the fuck out. And that doesn't happen often.
Yeah. Yeah, even if you behead him, like, he'd still yaks away.
Yeah.
So, it was incredible. So well done. Just the way it was shot. God, what music was playing?
Grease.
That's right, Grease. Yeah, I was like, because I remember The Greatest Showman's there for like a split second, and then they hit it again, and I was trying to blank because also
what Grease song is? I don't remember.
It's not Grease Lightning.
It's not Grease Lightning. It's the other.
You're the one that I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, the finale, the last song on for Grease. That was a big part of it too for me.
Such a weird song.
It is, but that's what I love about it. Like, there's a lot of filmmakers have done that over the years, but like to show like abject violence, whether it's a mafia movie or whatever, but then have it, juxtaposed with like,
a happy song.
Yeah, Walking on Sunshine or something. It's just it's a wonderful thing.
It's got to be up there with the top ones where it's like a bunch of violence set to the wrong type of song.
Yeah.
Because like you like rock and roll and stuff like that. Okay, that's fine. But like you just said, the one that I want or Walking on Sunshine. There's several scenes that do that. This has to be one of the top ones.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of violence there, too.
Yeah.
The amount of times that they stab each other in the groin is way too high.
Baby knife.
Baby knife.
And
the whole, I think it's Logan, where he sends Deadpool out of the van, and then he just raises his hand up and, come on.
Yeah. And then when he punches him, too.
Oh, yeah.
That first punch is pretty...
Deadpool's first punch. Like, he doesn't pull out a knife, doesn't pull out a gun or anything.
What did he say? I'm going to fight you now? And then he laughs at him.
He just goes, I'm going to fight you now. And he just laughs at him, and then he punches him, and you see blood come out of his nose.
And it's just like immediate, goes from laugh to like serious in like a split second.
You see the Wolverine then.
Yeah.
He went from Logan to Wolverine like that.
Yeah. So I think that may be my favorite fight in the whole movie. But yeah, it's my number 8 for...
Spoiler alert. It's not mine. Stay tuned. All right.
So
my wife's number 8. No, it's number 7. Sorry.
Number 7. Spidey and Strange fight in the mirror dimension.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
I love that one because it's like basically math, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
it's geometry.
Yeah, it's like that is just so Peter Parker.
Oh yeah, right.
I love it. I mean, because one of my favorite things I ever saw, I don't remember where it was where it's just like Batman is mental health and Spider-Man is science.
Yeah.
And it's like, so every Batman villain for the most part has some element of like mental health is like part of their whatever. Whereas like Spider-Man, it's like a lot of scientists and he's very science based. It's just the dichotomy of them. And like, so for him to be like, use math to beat magic is just beautiful. It is. It's chef's kiss for sure.
It's so great.
And the mirror dimension's really cool.
Oh, the mirror dimension's always fun.
I do love the mirror
except
dimension.
when Wanda's in it.
I expected the mirror dimension to play bigger in Infinity War Endgame. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Just because of the setup for it, probably, but it was very
what
powerful.
What would have happened if
in Doctor Strange's first movie, it was portrayed as a very powerful tool. So I was like, at some point he's going to trap Thanos.
Doesn't
in
he put Thanos in Infinity War? Doesn't he put Thanos in the mirror dimension and Thanos just breaks out of it using the reality gem?
I know he uses some shit, but I don't remember like the full on.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that fight again because I'm pretty sure that he does.
Yeah, I know. He blows up like all the different Stranges.
Yeah,
when he's like
he uses the soul gem for that one,
decoying them and stuff. So, I just expected it, not that it had to be because it just felt like such a versatile, like a heavy weapon in the Doctor Strange movie that I was like, okay, they're gonna use this at some point, and they just not in a heavy way anyway. Because we obviously, if it was a bigger thing, we would remember it. Because even if he tried something, it didn't work. So it was like, I don't know. Not a complaint, just kind of an interesting
observation.
Yeah, indeed.
All right, number 7 for you, sir.
7. It is Arisham's judgment in Eternals. When Arisham shows up over the planet, I mean, maybe one of the best vocal acting we've seen in the MCU for me.
Yeah.
That booming voice as he pulls him out and basically says, like, I just see the Celestial in the fucking sky was like, geek, like. I don't even know. Like, I know everyone's geeking out about the leaked picture of Galactus looking in the Baxter building, and it was kind of that for me because like Celestials are fucking, they're not to be trifled with. Yeah. So it's just like, imagine what that would be like living in that world. You look up in the sky and there's a fucking being just up there, like, and it was just cool. And so for him to come in that booming voice and like kind of say he's gonna look through their memories and then make his final judgment on humanity it was badass. It was just, I love the cosmic stuff in Marvel. I always have. So to get that realm of cosmic coming right next to Earth was just badass. I geeked the fuck out for it.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, good stuff from the Eternals.
All right, so my number 7, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man saves MJ. Which, dude, are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. Like, he like tears up and everything.
Yeah.
Such a great...
Because he never got the payoff.
No.
Because he never got his third movie.
No.
So it's like, there was never the redemption.
That's what my wife just said in the chat is redemption. That's exactly what it is.
He never got it.
He deserved it, too.
Yeah.
Because it's not his fault, and everything like that. And he's such a good hero. He's such a good guy and everything. To see him fall afterwards, because you find out that after Gwen dies in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, is that he goes to a dark place, and he goes dark for a while.
Yeah.
And to see that he is able to pull himself back up and then to get the final closure of saving this MJ is beautiful. It's so beautiful that the MCU paid respect to this Spider-Man. That's not their Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's someone else's Spider-Man, but to still pay respect to the original character of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Was just it was just like you said earlier, chef's kiss for me.
That's where you could see Feige as a dude that knows, right?
Yeah.
Like he understands and respects these characters enough to where it's like he's going to give that payoff.
He's got to have that redemption.
Also the spoiler.
Oh, fucking Tom Holland. Oh, that's the best.
I wasn't there that day.
And Andrew Garfield's look on his face when they told him.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh.
Even Zendaya
Tom.
gets a look on her face where you could tell that
she's just like, you fucked up.
I don't even think she just like glances at him, and it's just like you just know that it's like
she's expecting to see the Mickey Mouse shaped laser point, and he's about to get sniped. Oh,
good stuff.
So good.
Yeah, this made my shotgun list, but didn't make my overall list. But it's definitely a great moment for sure. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, and it's just one of the more iconic. The Gwen Stacy thing is one of the most iconic Spider-Man things. So
Spider-Man fails
to see it in his movie, and then wait how many fucking years before we finally get around to this to actually see the kind of the redemption on it is pretty cool. So.
All right, what's my wife's number 6?
Number 6, end credit scene where Johnny Storm did say all those things about Cassandra Nova. So is that how you interpreted it? Because I guess I don't trust Deadpool. I just assume that he created
He
that.
showed it. It's not a matter of him create. He can't create things.
I don't know.
He showed it. He had the little device and he showed us it.
I don't trust him.
Oh, come on.
I don't trust him. Johnny was too scared. I don't think he actually would have said those things. I 100% think Deadpool was manipulating.
Oh, he said it. He just didn't believe that Deadpool was going to repeat it to her.
And it all just felt so Deadpool to me, not as much Johnny. I don't know. I mean, everyone else seems to be interpreting it that he actually did say it, but to me, I'm like,
well, you can't just make things up.
Deadpool can't?
Well, what do you do? Like create another timeline that had those events happen? He showed us it. It's not like he just said that.
Yeah,
he showed it.
I don't know. It's just very suspicious.
He went on the TVA's little device and showed us it. You know?
I don't know. I don't trust him.
Matt Murdock would get this thrown out of court. How dare you wear that shirt and then slander Deadpool like that?
There's nothing to slander.
You're slandering Deadpool. You're saying that he got Johnny Storm killed.
I'm not
for no reason.
Yeah, just like he did Nicepool. He
thought Nicepool had regenerative properties. All Deadpools do.
He was a monster, sir.
He's not a monster.
He's like, you did that on purpose.
Wolverine, I did not.
Oh,
he was grabbing Nicepool to try and get him out of the way of the bullets.
Yeah, sure he was. Sure he was. He's a scallywag, Deadpool.
My wife says she 100% believes that Johnny said those things. So, Tad's on an island over here.
Yeah, maybe. But you guys are biased. You guys like Deadpool too much.
You just don't like Deadpool.
You're gonna believe his lies.
All right, what's your number 6, sir?
My number 6 is, and it's actually your wife's number. God, where the fuck was it? Number 2. It is the Strange versus Strange.
The music fight?
With the music.
Yeah.
Dude, that was fucking incredible.
She loved that fight.
Me too. I was geeking the fuck out. I was like...
So good.
And that's where I was just like, I love this. Like, this whole movie, it was great. But that moment, I was just like, here we are. They're fighting with music. Like, it was just incredible.
They're sending notes back and forth at each other.
It was so fucking cool, dude.
So good.
And it's so unique. So yeah, I called it Strange versus Strange, and she called it the fight scene with the music notes. So that was her number 2. Yeah.
Strange versus Strange, the fight with music notes. I think if we combine your two, we got ourselves a movie.
Yeah, indeed. It was wonderful. Yeah. In the chat, she said the music notes. Oh my God, it was incredible. The scene, I get chills every time I think about it. Yeah, it was great. I loved it. It was cool.
It's awesome.
I don't know. I feel like that movie shows up on mine more than any others.
Yeah.
I love that movie, man.
I think we should count at the end. Not yet, but at the end.
Yeah.
All right. So my number 6. My number 6 is the fight versus the High Evolutionary, and of course, the degloving of the face.
The face degloving.
The face degloving, just for Hayden.
If only Hayden was in here.
I know, right?
Oh man, he was not happy.
I actually forgot about this fight. And when I rewatched Guardians just recently, there's the hallway fight that's really good as well, where it's just a bunch of, like the deviants or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
The freaking Rocksteady and Bebop looking motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But the fight versus the High Evolutionary, where every single one of them gets a lick on him, is so satisfying. Because like you said earlier, he is such an evil prick.
Yeah.
He's so bad. And then to have him get shanked by Gamora, even her got involved. And then it's just...
It's like a piece of pizza that's too hot.
Oh, it's just so nice to see someone get their comeuppings like that,
Also,
not just a bad guy blown up or not just a bad guy arrested. No, he got his ass kicked.
Some things in movies are deserved, and some characters get so dastardly you have to do some heinous shit to them.
And he's one of them.
And he deserved every bit of it.
Absolutely.
I will say, there was a very small part of me that almost put Rocket's friends dying on my list.
Oh, my... What is wrong with you?
It all would have been a joke just to get that rise out of you. I did. I thought about it for a long, long second.
You're not wrong, Walter. You're just an asshole.
My wife put a hashtag Tad is terrible in the chat.
Oh, man.
That's earned, sir. Moving on. What's my wife's number 5?
Oh, you don't want to dwell on that?
No, I do not.
Her number 5 is bus fight scene in Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is a good one. It was on my honorable mentions.
Hey, it's my number 5.
It actually broke my heart to not have this or the scaffolding make my list, but it just didn't. Kind of one of those things. You ever feel that where you're just really bummed?
Mike even booed you in the chat.
Well, no, Mike said LOL. Meek Myko said boo.
Oh, Meek Myko. Oh, that's 2 different. I just saw M. So...
Yeah, no, Mike is a flag aficionado like me. He would never boo me for such things, sir.
Shame on you.
Did it ever happen to you, though, where it breaks your heart when something just, you can't find it on your list? Like, it has to be an honorable mention.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know. I probably would have been actually the scaffolding. I think I prefer that one a little bit more because it was just cool. Like, the different, you got levels and layers. You got the fucking danger of fall. The busing was really cool. But both of them not making my list did break my heart a little bit. So just to speak to it, where you guys are both,
I'm going to speak to mine since we're bringing it up now, and it is my number 5. One of the things I love about the bus fight versus the scaffolding fight, which did make my shotgun list, by the way, I love the bus fight a little bit more because there's an added element of that he has to save the bystanders. And he does so in such an awesome fashion. Like the one woman goes out the window and there's a car or a truck or something over her head. Yeah. And he gets her back in just in time before it comes crashing down.
Yeah.
The guy with the sword is cutting the bus in half and everything.
The choreography for this movie was absolutely top-notch.
It was top-notch. And that's one of the reasons why the bus fight made my list over the scaffolding fight is because this is the fight that set the tone.
Yeah.
For what Shang-Chi is. We had a fight with his dad and his mom and everything like that, all that stuff that happened before.
Yeah.
But this is the fight that set the tone for him, our hero of the story. What does he bring to the table?
Yeah.
And that's why I really love the bus fight scene so much more than the scaffolding fight is because this is our introduction to the character. This is that first time. This is that 1989 Batman landing on the roof behind those 2 muggers.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, you have a button for that, don't you?
I'm Batman.
It's the wrong Batman,
wrong Batman, but yeah.
But yeah, that scene.
Batman's a Batman. What's the difference? They all look the same to me.
No, but that's kind of what it is for me. Is this set the tone for Shang-Chi, and that's where maybe you can make the argument that
she says your wife says yes. Also, Katie driving the bus.
Oh yeah, the comedy of Katie driving the bus also adds to it.
She was an MVP for me.
I think that you would have an argument that the bus fight set the tone. And then the scaffolding raised the stakes.
Yeah. Mike says they need a don't go below 55 joke.
Are they making a Speed 3? I heard that they are.
There's been talk. Like Keanu
and Sandra Bullock
have both publicly said they'd be down to do it.
That'd be so cool.
I don't know that there's like a studio that's bought in terms of the studio involved. I don't know if they bought in. I don't know if a screenwriter's been hired. I think it's one of those things they're going to will it into existence.
It'd be so much fun.
So,
what's your number 5, Tad?
My number 5 is the Illuminati showing up. Like,
just the introduction of the Illuminati.
Okay. Oh my God, dude! Like,
cheers,
dude,
galore.
Charles Xavier, and then the X-Men theme, going in the back, like subtly in the score. You get, also I'm going to point it out now because Kang's not a thing anymore. When he appears as Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, it's the same technology that Kang used.
The teleportation
thing, which makes sense because Kang is a distant descendant of Reed Richards.
Yep.
So it was a cool comic thing, but it's just to see those characters together, and also the Illuminati is a big part of the Marvel universe, and it's one that it's kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy. If you would have told me when I was 20 that one day I'd see the Illuminati in live action on screen, like I never would have believed you. There's no fucking way.
My wife says this made her honorable mentions that she took it off. She should have just left it on. And then Mike says, Tad's number 5. I love the Illuminati showing up. Number 3, kill those motherfuckers. That is very fitting for you, sir. I love these guys. Now kill them.
Yeah. Oh no, it was. But it was just again, it's kind of in that same element of like it's so easy now to like look back and like underestimate that scene because now we have so much like crossing universes thing, but like we hadn't had that much yet. So to see like a wholly new Reed Richards we'd never seen before, to see Patrick Stewart as fucking Charles Xavier in the fucking wheelchair with the X-Men theme.
And we got the What If series that had Agent Carter as Captain Carter and everything. And then Rambo, and then even what's Strange's upcoming bad guy? His used to be friend. Mordecai? Not Mordecai.
No, God damn it.
That guy even showing up and being like, brother, and everything. It's just like, it was a great scene. It really is.
Mordo.
I
didn't even have to finish Googling it. I finally got it in my brain.
But all those characters showing up, and then even Black Bolt. Like I didn't even know who Black Bolt was, but way
no one did because nobody went and saw Inhumans.
It's true.
It was a show. Didn't they turn it into a show?
Yes,
right?
they did.
And nobody
but even like the gravitas that they introduced him with and everything like that, and then you see like, oh my god, this motherfucker killed the other Strange, and they killed Thanos.
Yeah,
like it elevated them to a level that they weren't in.
Yeah,
for Fantastic Four and for X-Men and for Inhumans. No, for X-Men and Fantastic Four in Fox's realm, it elevated them a notch.
Yeah.
Like, oh, these guys got together and they killed Thanos.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Meek Micah says, I honestly feel I need more of Chris Evans' Cap, more than Robert Downey Jr. Shake my head. I can't say that I completely disagree. I'm really excited to see the next chapters of Captain America, because a big part of the comic books is times where Bucky Barnes and Sam took over the role. So I think it perfectly follows the comics. But yeah, I would say that Cap, it feels like the most underserved of the three. I feel like Thor and Iron Man both had more to do, I guess. Like overall, Thor was a big driver of Infinity War. Like outside of Thanos, like I would say he's the main character. Like so it's like he has that moment. Tony Stark is obviously all over the
and then
fucking place.
him showing up in Wakanda, bring me Thanos. Like,
yeah.
Oh shit.
And I love it all, but I feel like I will say that of the big three, Cap is probably the least represented, even though he had his own movies and shit.
Yeah.
It just
his own movies. The third one got bogarted for a freaking Avengers
and
movie.
Technically, he was kind of the quote lead of the first Avengers, which makes sense. Or not Captain America: The First Avenger, the first Avengers movie.
Yes.
It just feels like I could have used more Steve Rogers.
I still could.
So
I still could.
I can't disagree. Although I'm really excited to see what we got in store with Sam and Red Hulk.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We already did my wife's number 4. Remind me what it was again.
Andrew Garfield and Toby.
Okay, and then what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Miss Marvel and Kate Bishop.
Oh, the end credit where she recruits her?
Yeah, because
that's Young Avengers,
I'm a
right?
big Young Avengers fan, so one, to bring Kate to see her on the big screen and not just streaming.
Kate's awesome.
But this is essentially, I'm hoping, not going to be an unfulfilled promise, but this is finally the promise of the Young Avengers. Like, I feel like they've been piecing it along with like characters popping up here and there, and it's like this is the first moment where it's like this is gonna happen.
Okay.
So big moment for me, and I loved Miss Marvel, dude. She's one of my favorite characters.
She's so funny.
Of this new phase, and her fangirling the whole fucking movie of the Marvels is one of my absolute joys. I loved her in her own show too. I love Kamala Khan a ton. So and I loved Kate as well. Not that we got a lot of play between the two in this scene, but to see them together on screen, it was kind of like that moment in Avengers when you saw Cap, Iron Man, and Cap, Iron Man, and Thor on the screen at the same time. again, it's so easy to overlook that scene now because of everything we had. But in the moment, dude, that was like
unreal,
life-changing. Like,
unreal.
Oh my God, they're on the screen together.
They're all together.
Yeah, and it was just
Does mother knoweth you weareth her drapes?
Oh, so that's my number 4. But again, I will say I'm biased. I love the Young Avengers. So to even the promise of that coming to fruition was enough for me to throw it up here.
So we already got my wife's number 4. Do we have her number 3 as well?
Yeah, Wanda versus the Illuminati.
Okay, so I need to go on a spree here. What's my number 4? Put it up on screen for us. It is the Marvel logo and Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. It is all Chadwick.
Yeah. Silence, wasn't it, too?
Pure silence. This scene still gets me. I might get a little choked up now. This is after his funeral where I 100% believe no one was acting. I don't think a single person acted at his funeral or that first scene where and everything.
And I think the whole production ended up kind of probably feeling like a wake for him.
Yep.
I agree with you 100%.
And this here, you said it beautifully in your number 10 with T'Challa's son, is that there's everyone has a moment in this movie where that's a great way to pay homage to Chadwick.
Yeah.
This was mine. This was mine that the 100% of the logo was him. There was no music.
Yeah, it's like the Stan Lee one.
There was no fanfare.
Was that the Captain Marvel?
The
one that had Stan Lee?
His last cameo.
The one, because the movie came out. He died right before the movie came out. So
but he had filmed his cameo.
So they made the whole Marvel logo was all Stan Lee, right?
Right.
Okay.
But this one, with everything that we found out about Chadwick and what he was going through filming and everything like that, it just this moment right after his funeral on the screen and everything like that, just hit differently for me. I had T'Challa, his son, on my shotgun list and everything. I
still remember where I was at when we heard the news
that he had passed.
Like I was over in the Best Buy over there on State Street.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah,
I was home.
I was there, but I pulled over to get food right over near there too. And I put my car in park and looked at my text and saw the freaking alert, and I was just it's
what
like one of those moments where it's like you just don't forget. It's like because again we had no clue.
Yeah.
So like as far as we knew, he was healthy and like wait what like
what he's gone
like nuts.
I remember having to comfort my daughter because she loves Black Panther. It's one of her favorite Marvel movies. I think it has officially been supplanted by Spider-Man. She is a fan of Spider-Man now.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with Tom Holland. She loves Tom Holland. But before it was Black Panther, and we had to. It was one of those moments where you sat her down and like, he's gone, and
yeah. So it's a bummer for sure.
It is definitely a somber one, but
and don't mistake what I was saying earlier. Like, is that as any way a disrespect to him as an actor?
Oh no,
because like I love him, and I totally feel like that they kind of were in a no-win scenario. I just kind of my earlier tirade is more about the fact of like the character.
Oh, I understand. I'm not upset at all. And
I know. I just want.
If any fans I hope you understand that Tad is not coming from a place of like hostility towards the decision. I understand what you're saying 100%. Is that the character?
But Chadwick was amazing. I mean, he's one of my MVPs of Civil War.
He's one of the best character castings in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I put him in my top 10, easy.
Yeah,
easy.
Yeah, like I remember being blown away by him in Civil War. It was just like, holy fuck,
good.
Dude. Like,
and then in Black Panther, all of you are wrong. That line, I get chills just saying it. I can't.
Yeah.
And so just like that's why this made it so high on my list. Is that was my moment. A lot of people's moment was his funeral. A lot of people's moment was his son. A lot of people's moment was Siri and the Queen having their. But the Marvel logo, gets me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on to my number 3 now, right?
Yeah, I think that.
We still gotta,
we said your wife says Wanda versus the Illuminati. Yeah, so you're the only one that has 3 still.
Yeah,
so.
And it's the only one that I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Matt Murdock's cameo.
Yeah, it was almost on my list.
Oh, I geeked out so hard. I love the Daredevil series, and I have honestly been pushing off a rewatch until I have a date for Daredevil Reborn.
Do we not have a date yet? I thought it was early next year.
It's early next year, but is there a date? It might have been announced now, but I've been pushing off a rewatch of Daredevil for that reason, is that I don't want to get back into Daredevil until I have more ready to come. But his cameo...
let's see. This article does say has a new trailer and a release date. Let's see.
Ooh. Wait, it has a trailer?
I don't know if it was released publicly. I've seen a bootleg though. Actually, I haven't watched the whole thing. I saw a little bit. I'm like, I watched some of them, and I still might watch that one. But it is saying March 2025.
Yeah. See,
So,
I can't. It's too early. It's too early for a rewatch. But his cameo in Spider-Man, the way that he helps Peter, and everything is just so great. And then the brick.
The brick, yeah.
The brick. How did you do that? I'm a really good lawyer. So I wish I could have got more of him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. I would swap him and Happy screen time.
Yeah.
I would rather have Matt than Happy in that. I love Matt. I love Happy.
I
love
have
what he brought.
Slight tangent with
ahead.
Happy because it reminded me. I had a thought as I was doing the prep on all this episode.
Okay.
Happy in that scene in Deadpool and Wolverine in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I think I kind of missed on that, and I thought about it in retrospect. It was last night I was doing some prep. I respect that because Happy is Jon Favreau, which was the man that birthed the MCU.
Sure.
So it was kind of interesting that he was the gatekeeper that he was interviewing with, like in a meta way, which Deadpool's meta. So it's like to have it be Jon Favreau, like it actually almost is maybe more meaningful that it's him than it would be Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. So I didn't really connect that at the time or on my rewatch or even in the subsequent weeks. It wasn't until last night, but I was like, you know what?
That fits.
It's Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
Like the MCU doesn't exist without his directing that movie as well as he did. So it just, I know you just mentioned Happy, so that sparked my. So I want to.
I got you. No worries. All right. So did we get my wife's number 2 yet?
No. Or yes, the fight scene with the music notes.
Okay. Yeah. So my number 2 is, my opinion, the best fight in Deadpool and Wolverine. Is the opening credits of Deadpool and Wolverine, where he's using Logan's decaying corpse as a weapon to Bye 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 by NSYNC. And absolutely wrecking the TVA. And it all culminates with one of the best jokes. Keep my country's name out your fucking mouth.
I love it.
And my sword.
I love every time anyone trashes on Canada. It's like, one of these days I'm going to go to a place where I'm a superhuman being and I'm like just a little bit better than everything. Oh, it's like Canada. You shut your fucking mouth.
Everything about this was amazing.
And it set the tone.
Oh, it set the tone. I knew. I honestly,
not that we didn't know what we were in for.
We knew that it's a Deadpool movie, but it's a Deadpool
in Marvel.
MCU,
so yeah, it's like
MCU movie. Is it? Are they going to take the edge off of him? Is there not going to be as many fucks? Is there not going to be as many bloody scenes and gore? You know, and everything like that. And then just like. He starts off with the jaw and Logan and everything.
And I knew that was how that was going to play out when he was digging. I'm like, it's going to be a skeleton. Like, he thinks like regeneration, but I'm like, when he hits, dude, it's going to be I don't know how much we would see, but I'm like, he's going to be dead. Like, I will also give credit to, I saw a thing, I don't remember if it was Feige or Ryan Reynolds, but he basically said, when we started talking to Feige, it's like, we're going to have to like tone down the violence a bit, like, whatever. Like, so like they were even offering where it was like, do we need to tone it down a bit now that we're under the mouse? And Feige's like, fuck no. It's Deadpool. So it's like, let's give credit to Feige where it's like,
all hell Kevin Feige.
Yes, indeed.
That's just that scene, just like you said, set the tone. My wife says into the chat, the dancing.
That's her number.
Fight.
That's her number one.
That's her number one.
Yeah.
That fitting. But yeah, that just chef's kiss for me.
And
I can't wait till it comes out.
And there's the behind the scenes with the dancer.
Oh yeah, the dancer who
his agent called him up like, "Hey, do you know
you need to learn this dance right now?
Yeah,
I can't tell you why, but it's big." And there's a video of him. He's visiting his parents, and he recorded himself learning it. That's so awesome that we have that documented.
Yeah, it's really cool. Indeed, that it was pretty great, and like it was just like And then like when he's like, oh, with a little hint of necrophilia. Like, that was wonderful.
He's got the one guy down in doggy style. He's got it's hard Wolverining. He's going back and forth with the two guys. Like, oh my.
Oh, good stuff.
The best part. Okay, Ted, I have to tell you the best part about this. Okay. After we saw the movie, we talked to my parents the next day or the day after. And my mom's like, oh, so what movie did you go see? I'm like, Deadpool and Wolverine. And she goes, oh, what's that? I'm like, it's a Marvel movie. And she goes, oh, but I like it? And all I could think about was that opening scene.
You should have said yes.
No.
Oh, man.
All right, Tad, we're to number ones, and we haven't crossed number ones yet.
You'll have to be like Kevin Feige and explain pegging.
Oh God!
Do you ever hear that Hayden convinced his parents to watch Bone Tomahawk? He told him it was. He just told him it was a Western.
Yes, you did. I think he told us that. Yeah.
His mom walked out way before they got to the the scene. His dad watched it. Yeah. So what is it? My number one.
Your number one, sir.
My number one, Wolverine masking up.
Oh, pulling on the mask.
It's just, I mean, I can't even say 24 years, 25 years of waiting, because it's like, I guess you can, because it's technically that's how long I've been waiting for live action, but it's like, going back to like watching the cartoons in the 90s, like I've never been the biggest Wolverine fan, but I love Wolverine for what he is. Like he's not top tier character for me, but I love him. And just the costume's one thing, but it's like the whole movie, there was like a small element of me where I'm like,
it's there, but it's not all the way there.
Yeah, it's like it's you know. So when he like, I don't even remember. Like I think he just starts to put his hands up. I'm like, this is it, and it was just like, just release myself to the moment. It's like this is fucking amazing, and because I knew they'd be able to do it right. Deadpool did it with like the eyes and stuff, to where it's like we've kind of crossed the Rubicon of like, you know, how do you do the eyes? Like, because in the old days it would have been like, well, how do you do that? Do you really make them like white but they move and emote? Or like that was always a question where it's just like, how do you do it?
Yeah.
And then Deadpool just fucking did it in their early movies where it's just like, oh, that's how you do it.
Oh, that's how you do it.
Because you don't have to do that with Spider-Man or some of these other characters. So definitely not Daredevil. But you know, it was just one of those things where it's like, crossing into live action, there's always those things where it's like there's some things that are easy and some things that aren't. And the eye thing was always a question until Deadpool came out the first movie. It was like, oh my God, they fucking did it.
They nailed it.
So like going into this movie, I'm like, we've seen it twice now, and 3 times even, because I'm most of the way through the movie, where it's like Deadpool's works. Like we could do Wolverine's mask, just fucking do it.
And they did it.
And so to finally do it was just, that was a moment for me.
Yeah.
That was the moment for the new post-Endgame MCU. That's number one for me.
Nice.
So,
all right. So my number one. So my wife's blowjob handles. So my wife's number one was the Deadpool and Wolverine opening credits fight, and then my number one is the Goblin fight and the death of May.
Yeah. And I remember we were sitting next to each other because I think you actually bought into the fake out.
Yeah.
Where like you didn't think that because I was like
she was going to be okay.
Yeah, and I was like, she's dead. I just, there was something in me that I'm like, she's fucking dead. And I'm like, and when she didn't look like, I'm like, they're faking it.
Yep.
And I remember just there was some way you react. Maybe it was when she actually finally responded. You reacted.
When she actually I'm gonna need a minute. That's when I knew. Dude, I think I whimpered.
Yeah.
Like just no, not Tom, not Aunt May, no, not this Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You can have the other 2 Spider-Mans, but don't do it to him.
Yeah.
And she gives the line too. With great power comes great responsibility. Just like it hits me, dude.
I will say I wish the Spider-Man game on PlayStation didn't do that first, because I think it would have been a little bit more impactful if most of us in the Marvel realm has not played that game where she dies as well in the first game.
Yeah.
Not that it takes away from it a ton, but it's just a matter of like, if that would have been the first time off of the page, because it's in it's happened in the comics too, but it's like, if that would have been the first time in a non-comic media that happened, that would have been like fucking over the moon. Oh my God, I can't believe this, you know. But that Spider-Man game stabbed us in the heart.
Oh yeah, it
a
did.
few years before, so it's like it helped the hurt a little less. Not that it wasn't still terrible.
Yeah, this one got me so bad. But also on top of that, the fight with the Green Goblin here is, I think, one of the best fights in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, well,
freaking Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe's an MVP, man.
Dude, he did his own fight.
He's so good, dude.
I don't know if people know that, but Willem Dafoe said, I'll do this movie, but I have to do my own stunts.
Yeah.
And he did the stunts in the fight here in the hallway and between floors and everything like that. Such a great fight. Spider-Man gets his ass kicked.
Tom was going to go for the kill.
He was.
That was something else there.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Spider-Man had it in him.
Apparently he doesn't. He almost did.
Well, no, it was
Toby.
It was Toby that stopped him.
Yeah, Toby stopped
I think
him.
he would have done it without it.
Yeah.
Without Toby there. So it's like he had it in him, and I never would have given of the 3 Spider-Men, the one that I would not have given credit for actually being able to try a kill, it would have been Tom.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have pictured it with him.
I think that's the reason why the May thing is so important for him, is that, you know, it's also very interesting because it is, like you said earlier, it's the 3rd movie, but here's his origin story.
Yeah.
I love the way that they did it too, because it's not. He's been a hero now for what, 3-4 years?
Yeah.
And now he gets his homemade suit. He's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. No one knows he's Spider-Man.
I love the new suit, by the way.
I love the new suit.
No Stark technology as well.
No Stark technology. He's on his own. Rent's going to be past due.
Yeah.
He's going to have a Romanian or Russian landlord, you know.
And maybe Battle World.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing to see where Spider-Man goes from here.
Yeah.
And this is where it starts, is this scene. And that's why, for me, Spider-Man is my second favorite hero. I love Spider-Man. I mean, Peter. It's Peter, you know? I can't not love him.
My only question that arose from like the whole turning it into kind of like a weird trilogy of origins is like they've alluded to Uncle Ben a number of times.
Yeah.
So it's like, how does that fit in? I still don't think we have answers on that.
Yeah.
Because it's like it has like Ben's luggage in the second movie, and like you
see his tombstone next to May's in this one.
And there's a couple references. There's a reference in the first movie. I think it's when Tony's asking him like, why do you put on your pajamas or whatever? Like, you know, and it's like it's between the lines, but it's there, right?
Yeah.
It's like if I have the ability to do something and I don't do it, then whatever happens is my fault.
Yes.
It's like, so all throughout, like Ben has been there, but not. And it's like, so now to like loop it into where it's like May is like this weird, like at the end of this whole thing is like the origins. It just makes me wonder, like, maybe we'll never really see like.
Maybe we'll see what like the clarification of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like a big thing. It's just a matter of like to have those Easter eggs throughout with Ben, and then like to kind of loop the Ben stuff into May here. It was weird to me, not in a bad way. It was more just like, oh, like I always thought it was just going to be kind of this, like, we all kind of know Spider-Man's story. It happened, and Ben was kind of that galvanized, and it probably was, right? Because that's what he told Tony, is like, that's why I do this. But like now it's like even more of a like pushing him. You're now out of high school. Now it's like
maybe
a
that's
second
why.
Origin of like, you're now the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that is on your fucking own.
But maybe this is why that Spider-Man was willing to kill, is because he has had more than just losing Uncle Ben. He had 2.
Yeah.
Has a Spider-Man ever had that? You know, so that's where it's not redoing the character where it's not paying, you know, not staying true to what the character is.
Yeah, and that's not what I'm saying.
But I think that's what I'm saying is like they did a good job upping the stakes.
Yeah.
Without changing the core of the character, because we've seen that before where they up the stakes and it's like that's not this character. That's not Batman.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen that too many times. Or that's not how Superman acts.
Yeah.
That's a big one for you, is you're like, that's not Superman.
Yeah.
That's not the Boy Scout. That's not the all-American apple pie guy.
Yeah.
This is not Superman.
Yeah.
They upped the stakes with Spider-Man without changing the core of who Peter Parker is.
And being able to bring in like Toby's villains and actually have the Green Goblin, for Christ's sake, and Dr. Octopus, like that was cool, because it's like it allowed him also to like interact with these like legendary characters without establishing
a new one,
them in his universe, right?
Getting a new Green Goblin.
Because that still leaves them open where if they wanted to do Harry and Norman Osborn in his world, like that's totally open now.
Because
it doesn't have to be Willem Dafoe.
He could go get an internship at Oscorp. And everything.
Or Dr. Octavia. Like there's, it's a cool thing because it allowed us to have our cake and eat it too. We were able to like have those moments of him and Doc Ock and him and Goblin. I mean, there's the others too, but those are the big ones, man.
Those Electro,
those are his main villains. Those are his Joker, and I don't even know who the second would be, Penguin maybe or whatever. Like, I don't know. The other thing I wanted to point out, sorry, it sparked me because we were just talking about like the Ben thing. Because I wondered, is he younger when Ben happens to the point where he maybe doesn't have?
Maybe it's also not like a true vengeance thing. It's like it's like it was an accident, but it kind of like sparked him that he wants to save people. Yeah, because he doesn't have like the full on like crime bad. A lot of the stuff he's stopping is car accidents.
Because he seems so young. I just find it hard to believe that like he's doing like the wrestling thing and like getting cheated on his pay. Like that all feels like a little bit older of a Spider-Man. So it's like I'm not going to say he wasn't responsible in his mind for Ben in some way because that's so crucial. But it just makes you wonder: was he so young that he just wasn't able to like wrap his head around? I'm going to go hunt that guy down and kill him.
Was it like him and Ben were out on the sidewalk and Peter tripped and fell in the street and Ben saves him from a car and gets hit and killed, or Peter distracts him while they're driving and Ben crashes and that's how he dies. So it's not necessarily like the whole criminal element thing.
Yeah.
But he's like, I just have to save people.
Or what if it is a criminal element? Maybe he saw something but was too scared to do something, then they killed Uncle Ben. But then again, maybe he spirals more into like depression and sadness as a younger kid than he does like vengeance. Like he's just his brain isn't mature enough for that like element of. But then when he's a little bit older in Aunt May, now you got that element of like
absolutely. Yeah. Also, he's seen a lot more. I mean, he's fought aliens
in space.
Yeah.
You've been in space? Also, I want to point out, I don't remember if we talked about it, but another Easter egg that I think I missed the first few times with Deadpool Wolverine. We talked about the mask blocking Tom from the picture.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been making the connection that that's the mask from the little boy from Iron Man 2.
Which is officially, Feige said that's
Peter Parker.
Yeah.
So like the mask, I guess I overlooked it as just like, oh, it's a stand-in to just block the picture, but I didn't think the next level of that's, whatever, 10-year-old Peter, standing up to the villain or whatever. So and then count-wise, let's see, Deadpool and Wolverine, I've got 1, 2, and then I've got the Illuminati, Kill the Illuminati, and Strange versus Strange, so 3. I don't think I'm gonna beat Doctor Strange.
I got 4 for Spider-Man.
I got Andrew and Toby, and that's it. So yeah, for me, it's definitely, dude. I love Doctor Strange.
It's that Spider-Man for me.
That movie, and there's been a lot of great movies, and I think that's the cool thing. And I'm glad you picked this topic because it is. There's been so much negativity, but it's really a lot of it's unwarranted, man.
It's a lot of fun.
I think the problem is that Marvel got to such a level with like Endgame, Infinity War, that then to swing back down to like kind of the ground level of what MCU Phase 1 was.
Yeah,
audiences are having a hard time adjusting that, but it's like, that's the reality, man. Like you can't keep playing at Infinity War and Endgame levels. Like you'll get gassed out and you won't feel it as much. So I've loved this phase, though. I don't think there's anything I've really hated in this phase. I don't think there's been an MCU movie that I've truly hated. I certainly love some more than others, but there's not been one where I've walked out going like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
So that is that'll do it for the list here, and that we're pretty much right at time. So worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is my mouse? There it is. Have you ever seen that meme where it's like you've got multiple screens?
I've got 2 screens. Where the fuck is my mouse?
And then it's like don't move. His visual acuity is based on movement.
I have not seen that.
All right, so let's go on over to the emails. If you want to email the show, tell us how you agree or disagree. Send your own list if you want after the fact. Send that over at peter@geekeryabides.com or tadd@geekeryabides.com.
Swear to God, I'll check it.
Peter's been guilted so much, I would assume he'll actually check it at this point. So, that is the emails. And then I may have on the fly earlier changed this slide because next time we will talk House of the Dragon.
Can I know what the other topic was?
No.
No?
No.
Keep it a secret?
Keep it secret.
I kept a secret.
Keep it safe. Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
I kept a secret from you, so.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I started watching on Thursday.
And this newest season is a couple episodes shorter. It's not 10 episodes.
Oh,
it's
okay.
8. So.
I started season 2, episode 1 earlier and had to stop to come record. So.
Yeah.
I gave up House of the Dragon to be here. I hope you all appreciate that.
Oh, man. I'm excited to see what you think. And also dive into it deeper, talk about characters, talk about all the shenanigans, all the incest.
That's why I didn't want to.
Disgust.
I'm going home. End the show. I'm going home.
Hey, with the Targaryens, sister wives means something different than it does for Republicans. Oh man. So yeah, that'll be the next time. We'll be here back in a fortnight from now, as Peter tries to compose himself.
Gonna vomit.
So much incest.
How do we not have any Dr. No sound bites? How about No, Scott?
Oh, Dr. Evil?
I mean, Dr. Evil, yeah.
Dr. No.
That's the original Bond, yeah. No. How do we not have any Dr. Evil? How about No, Scott?
Do you expect me to talk? No, I expect you to die. It's not Dr. No, but still. That's a good soundbite. There's still some refining for our sound bites for sure. So. All right, but yeah, we'll be back in a couple weeks for the next episode, talking about House of the Dragon. Until then, there's D23 stuff. We'll cover whatever we might need to cover. I don't think I covered a lot that was being announced, but anything that we might need to cover, we'll cover next time, as well as whatever.
Tad broke Peter again. Yes, yes, he did.
It's so fun.
It's not the first time, and it will not be the last time.
No, not at all. All right, guys, but I'll sign off as I always do by saying, love what you love, let your geek flag fly high, and to hell with anyone that'll tell you anything negative about guilty pleasures. Because if it brings you pleasure in pop culture, there's no guilt involved.
That's right.
To hell with that shit.
With great power comes great responsibility.
All right. See you guys.
Bye, everyone.